right now.
The last time the Bucs were in Cincy, they pitched the shutout. Actually, their first ever shutout on the road, their last shutout on the road. Trent Dilfer up on top to Rob Thomas. Bucs win at 35-zip, but they finished the year 8-8. Good morning and welcome to Bucs Sunday. The Bucs are on the road in Cincinnati, taking on a Bengal team that has had a split personality. They started the season winning 2 back-to-back, then they dropped 2 in a row. Now they hit this game in a 3-game losing streak. In fact, they've only scored 20 points in their last 3 ball games. Now in the next half hour, we'll take a look at how Monte Kiffin plans on shutting down running back Corey Dillon, and Rich McKay joins us here in the studio, and we talk about what's needed for a run to the playoffs. But first, Warren Sapp wins the NFC Defensive Player of the Week award for his play against the Rams. Now, number 99 sacked Kurt Warner twice, finished with 3 tackles, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery. Sapp receives the award for the 3rd time in his career, and Warren says he just made 1 big mistake Monday. Had a late lunch and was too full for that 5 p.m. pregame meal.
Yeah. I won't do that again. That hurts. That hurts too bad to do that. I won't do it again.
Got a little sick in the 3rd quarter, is that what?
Yeah, real sick. Real sick. You just can't go out on a turkey club and 2 pickles. I just that ain't gonna get it done. I just won't get it done.
Is that why you're eating that towel in the 4th quarter?
No, that towel is to keep me from cursing. There's a camera following me around. I don't want to curse no more, so I put the towel in my mouth.
You gotta stay away from that chili dough in Cincinnati.
No, I don't plan on eating any chili. I don't eat out when I go on the road because people see my face, they might want to food poison me. So I stay in the hotel and order it under Brooks' name. So if he gets it, he gets it. Tricks of the trade.
Here for Derrick Brooks. Check out the NFC Central. The Lions are in Soldier Field today against Chicago. The Vikings are in Heinz Field taking on Pittsburgh. And Green Bay is a Monday night matchup in Jacksonville. As it stands now, the Bucs are competing with 4 other clubs for that final playoff spot. If the postseason was to start today, the Bucs would be out. They are 1 game back, but with 6 weeks to go, a lot can happen and a lot will happen. Now, Kevin, against the Bengals today, Tony Dungy is looking for something that he hasn't had, he said, since the season started, and that is consistency from week to week.
And without a doubt, if they don't get that consistency, you can just kiss the playoff picture goodbye. They'll be out before they even start.
Yeah.
The Bucs are hoping that their huge victory over the Rams on Monday night is the turning point of this up-and-down season. But the true test that will determine whether this team has what it takes to come back is in Cincinnati.
Go to the offensive coaching staff, devising the plan to take care of the guys.
Strange as it may sound, getting ready for the Bengals is a more difficult challenge.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I think it is going to be a big challenge.
Both physically and mentally. And with no day off this week because of the Monday night matchup, there is little time for rest and recovery.
We're 32 hours, maybe 36 hours less recovery time, but you got to get the same job done. So we'll go out to practice today, and I think we'll get into it, and we've got to rest.
Rest for the Bucs means practicing without pads. Tony Dungy's philosophy? Focus on the mental part of the game.
You know, you got to force yourself physically to be ready to go. I think that's why, you know, we've taken the pass off this week, kind of, you know, not hidden. But we got to be mentally sharp. Got to have that, kind of have that mini camp atmosphere. You know, make yourself have fresh legs, get it done, be on top of your details mentally because, you know, coach is taking the physical work off of us.
To stay in the playoff hunt, the Bucs are going to have to do something they haven't done all season. Win 2 in a row. It's been nearly a year since the Bucs have won back-to-back games, but what's even more shocking is the last time they won consecutive road games. You've got to go back all the way to '97 to find that accomplishment.
We've got to put a streak together, and we're not going to be able to, you know, afford any slip-ups in December. So we know what the stakes are. Now we just got to go out and do it.
We're 5-5 right now. If you're not ready to go this Sunday, then stay right here. We'll leave you here. We got to go.
The Bucs realize there's no room left for letdowns. And Chip, despite that win against the Rams, they still have their back against the wall. 6 games to go. They have to win 5 to guarantee them a spot at 10-6 to get into the playoffs. Anything less than that, and they're going to need a lot of help.
All right, Kevin, they're catching a weather break today in Cincinnati. Anyway.
It's supposed to be low 50s, so it's not that 40-degree mark, which is good.
All right, thanks, Kevin. Meanwhile, there's absolutely no doubt that as Corey Dillon goes, so do the Bengals. Just take a look at the numbers, all right? These numbers, if you need any proof as to who is the key to stop the Bengals offense, here it is. Basically, if you stop Corey Dillon, you stop the Bengals and put the pressure on the passing game, which has not been very impressive since about 1991.
From the top with Rich McKay.
All right, Buck GM Rich McKay joining us live, and our floor director Sean calls it 3 minutes of fun, and it is when you're coming off a game like St. Louis.
Better than last
It sure was. Turnovers being the difference, when you take a look at it as we start the tape, your team is sitting plus 12 right now, Rich.
Yeah, and we were pretty good last year, too. It's always been an emphasis of Tony. You know, it starts with the defense. That's how we've got to make the turnovers. But also, you got to give credit to the offense, because the one thing Brad has done a nice job of is being very careful with the ball.
Right.
One slight indiscretion last week at the end of the game, but otherwise really been very good with it. And our running backs have been good with it. But defensively, you know, very productive. That play there by Derrick Brooks is about as athletic a play as you're going to see, because it looks like an interception by John, which it is, obviously, but the plays made by Derrick tipping the ball, excellent play.
Also, the pickoff, obviously, by Donnie Abraham. Now, when you go it against Kitna today, same kind of situation where Monty says the team has got to make some side adjustments.
Yeah, but the key to today is, and yeah, we got to stop the pass, but first we got to stop the run.
Right.
Whatever happens, you got to remember that this game is Corey Dillon's game to really hurt us, because of one thing, he's a factor back. He's a very productive guy. He holds he's what, 5th in the NFL, or 4th in the NFL for a single game. He got 270 yards in one game.
Right.
I mean, we've got to stop him. With respect to their pass, you know, they've tried to make short passing a focus of theirs, and then try to make big plays off of it. But their game will start with the run.
We'll get more with Dillon in the second half in just a few minutes. When you take a look at Keyshawn Johnson, he's having a Pro Bowl season, still no touchdowns, but yet he's doing what you guys pay him to do, and that's catch passes and keep the football moving.
He's been very productive. I mean, this is a guy that in 2 years has caught 147 balls already. With 6 games to go. Hasn't is on the snide in the end zone. We've taken some shots, and in this game against the Rams, we took a couple shots with him and didn't complete them, one of which Aeneas Williams made a nice play. But that segment of the game will come. The big thing, too, for Keyshawn is he's still made a lot of plays over 15 and 20 yards. People keep thinking, well, he's only made plays, you know, 5 to 10. No, he's made some bigger plays. Even in that game, he made some, and we've got to continue that.
When you take a look at it, I think Jacques Green this week was saying that really that the plays are designed either to go to Keyshawn or to go to Warrick Dunn, because right now Dunn's second on his team in receptions. Is that the way the offense is laid out or not?
Well, yeah, I think there is something to that. But what's happened is on third down, Warrick's such a good alternative because he's so good with his hands and he's good after the catch. So he's become very effective in the check down mode. But it's not that you're necessarily designing these plays to work. It's designed that if the defense gives us a deep drop, if they try to take away the receivers, we can check down. Warrick's an excellent option. I think when you look around the league, you'll find a lot of running backs are at the top of teams' receiving chart, or they're second, as Warrick is.
All right, thanks a lot, Rich. We'll catch you in a few minutes. All right, coming up next on Buck Sunday, it's the one phrase you hear every week from the coaches: limit turnovers or win the turnover battle. Well, the Bucs have actually done that. 9 out of the last 10 games, and Chris Field breaks it down for us next on Buck Sunday. All right, welcome back to Buck Sunday. You know, the Bucs look forward to seeing quarterback Jon Kitna again, because remember the last time they met, Kitna played for Seattle in 1999, and the Bucs picked him off 5 times. Chris Field joins us with more on the Bucs' quest for turnovers.
Chip, Jon Kitna might help the Bucs with that. Over the last 4 games, he's thrown 7 interceptions. The Bucs are confident they'll win this battle of turnovers. That's the one category they win consistently. St. Louis leads the league with 32 turnovers. The Bucs claim 5. Tony Dungy emphasizes winning the battle of turnovers, and the Bucs do.
That's the only thing that's keeping us alive right now, but it's our defense, and we want to keep that going, and let's see what happens.
With 25 total interceptions and fumbles and 13 giveaways, the Bucs lead the NFC with a +12 turnover margin. That ranks third in the NFL.
But we've done a great job as far as not turning the ball over. Our defense has given us the ball, especially the last week or two, in some great field position, and so it's something that you always stress.
How much does it fire you guys up to create turnovers?
I think, one, it fires us up that we stopped a scoring drive or opportunity for that team to score. But more important, it ignites our team and give our offense another chance to score.
You get the ball in positions where you don't have to make a big drive. You know, basically you get at the mouth of, you know, the red zone, and once you do that, you can do big things. It lets us off the hook, so to speak. So, you know, that's what this game is all about, the turnover battle. Whoever can win the turnover battle generally is going to win the game, I would say 80% of the time.
The only game this season the Bucs have a minus in the turnover category, their loss to Chicago. 14 straight regular season games with at least one interception ties a team record. The Bucs could raise the bar and set a new record with one interception at Cincinnati.
It's something we emphasize a lot and something we're getting done this year. And, you know, it's nice when we go in knowing that to win this game, we're going to have to create a lot of turnovers. And when they come our way, make good upon them, and we do that, that's a good feeling.
Here's the snap, a low snap, picked up by Carter. Carter looking upfield, throwing upfield, too tall. Sits over the 10. We've got the ball. And we run some clock, and Johnny Lynch will go down on a knee.
Last season, the Bucs finished with a +17 turnover differential. Their worst ever year, a -20. That was before the Tony Dungy era in 1991. Chip?
All right, thanks a lot, Chris. Meanwhile, the pressure is starting to build as we've reached the final 4 rounds of Pewter Pursuit. Mark Royals is feeling the heat as Derrick Brooks and Jerry Wunsch have closed the gap.
Who did the Bucs play in their first playoff game?
In their first playoff game, was it the Rams?
No, that was actually their second one. You were close. Philadelphia Eagles.
Philadelphia Eagles. Okay, that one. Okay, I didn't know that. But the Rams game, was that at the strike season?
That was, no, the Rams was following. They beat the Eagles in '79,
yeah.
And then the NFC Championship game, they played the Rams.
Oh, okay.
So you have the year right.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Who was the Bucs coach between Ray Perkins and Sam Wyche?
Between Ray Perkins and Sam Wyche, I have no idea.
Richard Williamson.
God. I knew it was Richard. I couldn't get his last name. You wouldn't have gave me credit if I just said Richard, would you?
I think you would give you half a credit. We could have given you that one. He's the actually offensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers, assistant head coach there right now.
Mm-hmm. You're right, Coach Weed. I knew it was Richard. I couldn't think of the last name.
The Bucs have had winning records against just 3 teams in their history. Can you name one?
3 teams in our history, a winning record. I will go with Chicago.
No Chicago. No NFC Central team, actually. Atlanta, they've got them by 1 game.
That was my second
guess.
guess.
Was that your second guess?
They say go with your first instinct, and I've been 0 for 2 in that.
0 for 2.
Okay.
Buffalo Bills, actually, they're 5-2 against them.
Wow.
And
the third?
Carolina Panthers.
All right, I'm going with my first instinct this time.
Next time. Okay.
So does this put me in last place now?
You're in trouble right now. Brooksy's looking at you. I can see him looking over your shoulder.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, 4th and long, Royals might have to punt because right now nobody gains any ground this week, which means that Royals is still the leader after 5 rounds, but you can tell by his scores he's not leading it by much. He's answered 3 correctly while Brooks and Wunsch both trail by 1. You've got to see what we've got for a finals plan for you, too. We're going to the top for the questions, the absolute top. All right, just ahead on Buck Sunday, Rich McKay joins us, and we're taking a look at a Bengal team that is struggling to find consistency. And a little later, Monte Kiffin breaks down the game tape of the Bengals offense. You get his thoughts on stopping Cincy. Coming up on Kiffin's Corner.
Broncos.
Denver Broncos. I think the Denver Broncos do.
To me, it's the Titans. I think they kind of look World League-ish. Yeah. Tennessee. The Cleveland Browns. I'd probably have to say Cleveland.
Ugly Cleveland Browns.
The Jets. Cincinnati. The Seattle Bengals. I mean the Cincinnati Bengals.
I think it's got to be the Titans. All right, it is a Fox doubleheader today, and of course, up next is Fox's NFL Sunday. James Brown and company join us from L.A., so let's toss it out to JB to see what he's got lined up for us.
All right, Chip, thank you very much. And coming up on the one and only Fox NFL Sunday, we'll go live to Cincinnati for all the latest as the Bucs get set to battle the Bengals. It's December, so that means it's time for Tampa Bay to make its usual playoff push. Then Terry Bradshaw goes back to Pittsburgh to wrap with what could be the AFC representative in the Super Bowl, the Steelers. Pam Oliver sits down with Falcons quarterback Chris Chandler, and we'll cover the controversy between the Colts' Peyton Manning and head coach Jim Mora. All of that and more, plus our forecasters Jimmy and Jillian, and a whole lot more coming up on Fox NFL Sunday. But for now, let's send it back to Chip Carter and Bucs Sunday.
All right, back with GM Rich McKay. Rich, we're taking a look at the Bengals offense, and obviously right now their offense is one guy, number 28, Corey Dillon.
Yeah, he has been the focus for him, and well, he should be. He's that good a player. They are a start with Corey Dillon first, and then we'll make some play-action passes off of that. This play you're looking at here is literally, I think it's the first play of the game for Cincinnati. That's a little tough for the home team.
Look at the speed.
Speed
the
and
DB
size.
never closes on him.
And let's not forget the size. So he's a great player, and they feature him. They make him a steady part of their offense. There'll be very few games where he will not get 20 carries. You have to bring your mindset as a defensive football team that we've got to stop Corey Dillon.
Truthfully, though, their offensive line, average to start the season, now they've got some injuries on it, or there are at least some guys who are hurting.
They're a little banged up, and they haven't played probably as well the last 2 weeks as they did earlier in the season. I think the key to their offensive line for them is in pass protection. They'll leave the backs in. They'll help them. The question is, can they block us in the run game? I think they'll do everything in their power to try to. I think they'll go 2 tight ends. I think they'll really try to run it at us and eat up the clock and try to get to fourth quarter, because that's what you do when you're struggling to win games, and right now they're struggling to win some games.
John Kitten is going to be the starting quarterback. They've had a little bit of a rotation going, especially after the last game. It's not a position that's in cement, really.
No, Kitten is the guy. I mean, they keep saying he is the guy, and he has started, I think, every game for
And
him.
you've had success against Kitten.
In our one big match with him in Seattle, it was a successful game. But the one thing they did last week is they were quick to go to Mitchell, and then they brought Akili Smith in the end. This week they've said no to Mitchell. He's gone to the third quarterback. Akili Smith will be the backup. If Kitten doesn't have success against us early, I think you'll see Akili Smith.
And then, you know, we've taken a look at, obviously, some where they've been up and down, almost split personalities. It's either the Bengals or the Bengals. But one area that they've had that's actually been pretty consistent, pretty good defense.
Yeah, and they're in the top 10. I mean, if you're in the top 10, you're probably pretty good defense. And they are in the top 10, so they're pretty effective. Last week they lost to Cleveland. But when you looked at the game tape, defensively, they played very well. You know, they had a couple bad plays on offense that actually led to the points. So they're a good defense. They've got obviously some studs up front, and they've got a linebacker in Spikes that's a great player. On offense, let's not also forget the little man from Florida State that's a pretty good player, Peter Warrick. You got to watch out, because at any time he can go the distance.
All right, thanks, Rich.
Thank you.
All right, coming up next, we all know Corey Dillon is a solid runner, but Monte Kiffin breaks down exactly what the Bengals do to make Dillon so effective. And if you don't know what a sight adjustment is, you need to watch Kiffin's Corner next.
Hi, I'm Frank Crum. Come on into Dusty's Campbell of Bartow and discover the Dusty's difference. We're the largest Georgia boy dealer in the country. That means we have the largest selection at the lowest prices anywhere, including the affordable Pursuit, the spacious Landau, and luxurious Cruisemaster Diesel. Dusty's makes the RV lifestyle convenient and affordable. With 35 acres of inventory, accessories, and service, we are the reason so many of your friends are coming to Bartow. Call 1-800-329-RVRV. Come in today and discover the Dusty's difference.
As America rolls on, so does 0% financing on almost every new car and truck at your Southern Chevy dealer. That's right. Get 0% financing on almost every new 2002 car and truck we build. From Silverado to Trailblazer, Cavalier to Impala. They're the cars and trucks that America depends on, and you can own one interest-free. While we continue to move forward, don't let this offer pass you by. Keep America rolling. See your Southern Chevy dealer today.
Hello?
You're the one that I want, don't say I'm... You should be mine, and don't you see?
Some things should never come between two people, least of all their long-distance service.
Verizon Long Distance. Simple calling plans, no fine print, one bill for local and long distance.
Won't you give me one sweet kiss? Then you'll know true love exists.
Verizon.
Hello, my name is Ed Collinet. Perhaps you didn't know about leasing a pre-owned Mercedes-Benz. Mercedes-Benz of Tampa offers the best leasing packages in our Star Mark pre-owned certified vehicles. Lease a 98 ML320 SUV for only $349 a month. The ML320 may be the car you thought you couldn't afford until now. You could be leasing a 96 SL320, a two-door convertible, for only $499 a month. The SL320 gives you the style and credibility you deserve. Mercedes-Benz of Tampa on Dale Maybridge is north of the stadium.
Hi, I'm Simeon Rice, and you're watching the hottest show on television, Bucks Sunday, no doubt.
All right, and this morning on Buck Sunday is Kiffin's Corner. Monty is talking about one thing, what the Bengals do to make Corey Dillon such an effective runner. But before we get into that, we did talk about some viewer mail.
I want to see if you're going to do it when it counts.
Coach, before we get started, I got an email this week from a viewer whose wife thought that you and I were related.
You and I are related?
Yeah.
I hope not.
Yeah.
I sure as heck don't look like you.
Yeah. All right, so, Dad, what are we looking at today?
Oh, cow, Dad. You're killing me, man. No, we're going to Cincinnati. And that Rams was a fun deal on Monday night, but hey, you're only as good as your last game, you know, so we got to be ready to go Sunday. It's going to be a big game.
Okay.
Biggest thing you got to do is start number 28, 2 28s in a row. Marshall Falk, now we got 28, Corey Dillon. And then you got some other people, but you got to start with him. Again, he can really change speeds right here. He's kind of just setting up his blocks right here.
How about their offensive line, good or not?
Just an average offensive line. I think we have some good mismatches up front. That's what we got to take advantage of.
Because really, when you look at their stats, you know, if he goes 64 yards, they lose. If he goes 116, they win. You know what I mean? It's just been like this all season.
Unbelievable. When he carries the ball over 20 times a game, they win, too.
See, I'm doing my homework.
You are. Now, this is against Jacksonville right here. Watch their wide receivers. Now, they really crack you. So we call crack the force. The force is right here. That's the safety. This would be like Dexter Jackson, John Lynch coming down right here, okay? They crack him. Now they're going to say, we're going to make Jacksonville's corner tackle, you know, a big back.
Right.
And he can't do it. But let me show the fans something that's very important.
Okay.
Is when you get caught on an island right here. You're helped inside, and I think I've said this before.
Yeah.
Go his outside leg. Go any fast back, stay on their outside leg. Take your shot at the outside leg. If you miss, turn him back this way. Turn him back into where your help is. Your help's in here. You got no help out here. You're the last line of defense. Don't let him outside. This is 3rd and 7 now. I'll show you.
3rd and 7. Oh, I thought they were running. So I'd have been scorched.
Now, this is what we did. Yeah. That's what, just don't give up your day job. Now, look here.
Well, I was still on the Corey Dillon thing. Okay, go ahead.
You got to anticipate the route's going to come, the ball's going to come out quick because of the blitz. We call it side adjust, and the safety misses the tackle.
Which Donnie Abraham did on the INT, correct?
Exactly what it was. I told the defense the other day, listen, hey, it's not Monday Night Football. It's going to be 1 p.m. on Sunday, okay? It's not going to be all the lights on, all the glamour, and all the glitz and stuff. I tell you, it may not be on TV. I tell you the truth, it may not even be on the radio. No, may not. It counts exactly the same as it did at St. Louis. We got to play Sunday like Monday night.
All right, it is on today at 1 o'clock. That's a look at Buck Sunday. Thanks for watching.
Dusty's has the largest selection of RVs in Central Florida, and we can't wait to show you around. Our brand new facility has 35 acres of RVs, travel trailers, fifth wheels, and a state-of-the-art service center with master certified technicians. Whether you're driving Route 66 or just camping around the corner, Dusty's has everything for your RV lifestyle. Family owned and operated, we've been serving Central Florida for over 34 years. Minutes from everywhere, just east of Bartow on Highway 60. Call 1-800-329-RVRV. Come in today and discover the Dusty's difference.
It's the time when wishes come true. Drop in for the best lease offer of the year on the 2002 Cadillac Seville SLS. Call for residency restrictions and lease details. Season's best. Visit your local Cadillac dealer.
You gotta eat. Hey, wait a minute. You gotta eat. Don't give me no lame excuse. It ain't no use. Gotta eat.
This deal's huge. Right now, get 2 Big Bufords for $3 at Checkers. Big Buford is 2 patties, cheese, and all the toppings, made fresh to order. It's 1 big burger. And since you get 2 for $3, maybe you better bring a really hungry friend. You gotta eat.
I'm Marcus Jones, and you're watching the NFL on Fox 13.
This is a presentation of Fox Sports. At this rate, it's sure to be a December to remember. It's the NFL on Fox. They're getting down in Steel Town. The bus is tuned up and Cordell is tuned in. They host the Vikes, who've been sputtering all season. Thanksgiving's over, but Detroit's still a turkey. They head to Soldier Field, where the Bears have been feasting all year. After a great start in Cincy, reality is set in. And for the Bengals, reality bites. They host the rambunctious Bucks, who look to build off their St. Louis surprise. The Saints will try to shake their Boston TD party hangover when they welcome the uncool Cats to the birthplace of jazz. After the biggest U-turn ever, the Skins are the NFL's hottest team, and the playoffs are a possibility. They take on the boys who break their leaf to the bench. Speaking of turnarounds, things are looking up for the Falcons. Today, they host the Rams, who seek to bounce back by staying perfect on the road. The Cards travel to Oakland. Rice fits in so nice that this year, Raider fans are thinking Super Bowl. But today, Arizona's thinking upset. There's no need for you to get upset. Hey, it's the NFL on Fox.
Folks, it is indeed one crazy NFL season so far. One that Redskins coach Marty Schottenheimer simply calls nuts. The Skins, Falcons, and Patriots have come back from the dead, while the Bears and Jets, of all teams, are in first place. As we head down the stretch, it's the unexpected we've come to expect right here on Fox. And hello again, everyone. I'm James Brown, and thank you for joining us here on Fox NFL Sunday. Joining me now, as always, my guys, Chris Howie and Terry. Big news, AP reporting that Notre Dame head coach Bob Davie has been fired. And also getting the axe yesterday, unfortunately, in college football, the University of Florida.
So how about that Notre Dame job in that whole situation anyway?
It would never happen at Notre Dame, Chris. Not Notre Dame.
Not at Notre Dame.
Not at Notre
Dame. But that means that John Gruden now is, there goes the Raiders run. I mean, they're right back to ground zero.
If I'm the Oakland Raiders right now, I'm making decisions at which I'm not. I would sign John Gruden right now. Word is if you're getting high school scouting reports as we speak.
Ray Man sees Gruden in Notre Dame.
All right, you know what? And remarkably, Rain Man is usually right. All right, folks, let's get started with our Fox Watch, and we'll begin at beautiful Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, as everyone in the AFC Central is looking to catch up to the first-place Steelers. But the big question is, who will start at quarterback for the Vikings? It's Minnesota and Pittsburgh, and calling that game as our own, Dick Stockton. Hello, Dick.
Hello, JB, and that is the big question, as the Vikings, who have a losing record after 10 games for the first time since Denny Green's been head coach, it appears as if Dante Culpepper, injured knee and all, will start for the Vikings today. But if he falters or does not start, they're going to call on Todd Bauman, the fourth-year quarterback who took most of the snaps this week. Minnesota hurting elsewhere as well. Harold Morrow starts his first game at fullback for the injured Jim Klein. Saucer, offensive line shuffled again. How about the Pittsburgh Steelers? Right now, the #1 seed in the AFC. Old Steeler way with the physical offense and the physical defense paving the way for them. Right now, let's send you to Chicago and Kurt Menefee.
Well, Dick, the Lions come into Chicago still looking for that first win of the season, while the Bears at 8-2, currently the #1 seed in the NFC. Well, they have to try and keep their running game on track without the A-Train. The rookie running back will miss his second straight contest with a bad hamstring. But considering the way James Allen and Leon Johnson played last week against the Vikings, that may not be such a big deal. the last time these two teams met. The final game of the regular season, Christmas Eve last year. With a win, the Lions would make the playoffs, but the Bears went into the Silverdome and stole one away, winning it on a last-second field goal by Paul Ettinger. It's a loss the Lions say they have still not forgotten. We certainly haven't forgotten Ray Bentley. He's in Cincinnati.
Thanks, Kurt. Tampa Bay brought the weather with them, so they won't have to worry about the cold weather jinx here today against the Bengals. They also won't have to worry about Artrell Hawkins or Matt O'Dwyer. They are out. In for Cincinnati are Robert Bean and Scott Rayburg. The Buccaneers are gearing up for their annual second half of the season surge. They forced 6 turnovers in the big win over the Rams on Monday night, but they did not get Keyshawn Johnson into the end zone. Johnson is second in the NFL in receptions, but he has yet to score this year. He's looking to hit pay dirt for the first time here at Paul Brown Stadium. Let's go to Scott Graham in New Orleans.
I'm Rob. All right, big dog. Me and you hear me? Sure. Right, you there.
It's time. We got to show up. If we want to be there at the end, we got to show up. We got to show up today. We got to tackle. We got to play our keys. Let's go have some fun. Let's do it. Win on 3. 1, 2, 3. Win.
Sapp was the NFC Defensive Player of the Week as he bagged a herd of Rams. Today, he's going Bengal hunting. Welcome to Paul Brown Stadium, where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers take on the Cincinnati Bengals. Take a look at the NFC Central Division standings. The Buccaneers fighting for the wild card spot in the NFC. They are tied with 3 other teams with that 5-5 record. Hello, everybody. I'm Ray Bentley, along with my partner, John Yurkovich. And Yurko, the Buccaneers are poised to make that second half of the season surge that they've become known for. And they do it with defense. They've got a Pro Bowler at each level.
And there's 3 key players to that defense. Up front, it starts with Warren Sapp. He's the guy that makes it happen in the middle. He penetrates, he pursues, he gets in, he causes chaos and havoc, causing fumbles all over the field. Behind him, Derrick Brooks. He's the quarterback of the defense. He'll be chasing left and right, making things happen. Behind him, strong safety John Lynch. He's the guy that hits you. He'll be all over the field today.
And their job today will be to stop Corey Dillon. He's one of the best in the business.
Absolutely, Ray. And what he's been able to find, according to safety John Lynch, is that next gear. He's got the capability to take it all the way and become a game breaker.
For Tampa Bay, their running game has struggled a little bit this year, averaging just 82 yards a game. What's the problem there?
Allstott and Dunn, Thunder and Lightning. Both of these guys, they're used to getting a lot more carries. They're not getting the carries this year, but they are getting the receptions. And they've been rather productive as far as when it gets to scoring touchdowns. They've both been able to find the end zone. The guy that's going to give them the ball in the end zone is going to be Brad Johnson. He was able to find 7 different receivers last week. And what he's been able to do is he's going to take what the defense is giving him. So he'll check down to the backs, and he's more likely to do that.
All right, Brad Johnson will go against a couple of good linebackers today, Takeo Spikes and Brian Simmons. But right now, let's listen in as Rondé Barber gets ready to play today's game.
You ain't get that. I'll smash 3 of them. Go ahead and get that team record. Finally got your boat back in the same week.
Know our role in terms of getting this thing done. DB's on 3. 1, 2, 3, DBs.
On Fox. Along the banks of the Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio, Paul Brown Stadium. 51 degrees today, and the Buccaneers don't have to worry about that cold weather hex, Yurko.
Yeah, not too good in cold weather. Under 40 degrees, they've never won a game, and it's above that 50-degree barometer. They're only 6-14 when it's under 50, but they're in safe territory.
And Tony Dungy ready to get his team going for that late surge. He's a December guy, 3-1 last year, 12-7, the career record for Tony Dungy in the month of December.
He's been hampered by slow starts with the Buccaneers, never able to get it done in September, October, but in the second half of the season, Tony Dungy and the troops, they've gotten it together, and they've won football games.
And you see Dick LeBeau taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for the first time. As we get ready to kick. Martin Gramatica set to kick off. Deep for the Bengals is Curtis Keaton. And we're underway. Good kick by Gramatica into the end zone. Keaton will take it out from 3 yards deep. And he is tackled by Gooch up at the 25-yard line, a 28-yard return, and the Cincinnati Bengals offense takes the field, doing well in the running game, averaging 105 yards per game. Webb, Rayburg, Graham, Goff, and Anderson up front. It's Darnay Scott and Peter Warrick, the wide receivers. The All-Pro Corey Dillon, the running back. Lorenzo Neal is his fullback, and Tony McGee is the tight end, and John Kitna, number 3, starting at quarterback. Kitna throws the out route on the first play of the game. He connects with Darnay Scott. Buccaneers defense is rated 9th in the NFL, giving up just a shade under 300 yards a game. Rice, Sapp, McFarland, and Jones up front. The linebackers, Brooks, Duncan, and Shelton Quarles. And in the secondary, Rondé Barber and Brian Kelly are the corners. Dexter Jackson and the All-Pro John Lynch are the safeties. That's Corey Dillon coming up close to the first down. He'll be a couple yards short. Rondé Barber makes the tackle.
Corey Dillon
might have lost the ball on that play. Excuse me, John.
Yeah, he abruptly turned around after the tackle, and he was looking toward the ground. He breaks through the line. Good blocking up front. Breaks through the line, and Rondé Barber gets the hand in and strips him. Corey Dillon aware of the fact that he's dropped the ball. No other defenders inside. Dillon gets back on top.
Break for John Kitna and the Bengals there. Brings up a 3rd down and 1. Nick Williams in motion. And they go with Dillon on the ground. Breaks one tackle, and Dillon gets the first down. He runs into Jamie Duncan.
A lot of their running today is going to come over Richmond Webb. He's the veteran. Here's Richmond on the left side. He's going to block out and kick out the block and create the room. Fullback goes up on Derrick Brooks. And you see they're cutting off the pursuit of the Tampa defensive line, locking everybody inside, and they're just going to deal with the outside portion of the defense.
You see Webb, a 7-time Pro Bowl selection. 1st and 10, opening drive for the Bengals. They flip it outside, and Dillon can't find any room out on the perimeter. Shelton Quarles runs him out of bounds.
It's that little nifty option play that's been run around the league. You fake the fullback up into the middle, and you go out toward the outside. It doesn't fool the Buccaneer defense. Simeon Rice outside, fights off a block, helps make the play.
Simeon Rice made some headlines earlier this week in Tampa Bay. Isn't happy with the amount of play time he's getting. We'll talk more about that as we go on. 2nd down and 12. Kitna. Contact early, and the flag is down. Trying to hit Darnay Scott, and Rondé Barber hit Scott before the ball did.
Rondé Barber in coverage, trying to play and get to the ball and make the interception. But Darnay Scott gets in the way.
Pass interference, number 20. It's a 1st down.
Scott running his normal route. Rondé Barber has to go through Darnay Scott. And here you're just going to run a simple post pattern at about 10 yards. Rondé sees the quarterback make the commitment. But Darnay Scott has body presence, and he's in between the ball. His body's in between the ball and Rondé Barber.
Bengals into Buccaneer territory. Corey Dillon falls forward for a couple.
This plays right into the Cincinnati Bengals offensive goals. They want to be able to control the ball. They want to be able to run effectively, but the wide receivers have to catch the ball today, and they've been able to catch the ball early off, and Kitna's been accurate with their throws. They want no drop passes, and they want to be able to develop Corey Dillon, because once Corey Dillon runs successfully, the whole team gets pumped up, and everybody gets all juiced up for the game.
And Dillon is definitely the motor for this football team. If he gets it going, the Bengals do well. 2nd down and 9. Toss. Brandon Bennett. And Bennett picks up just a couple. Shelton Quarles makes the play as there's a flag down, and it looks like it's one of those offsides calls against the defense, and indeed it is.
Cincinnati offense setting up. They've gone outside left. They've gone outside right. They've gone off tackle left. They tried to go off tackle.
Number 78 defense is lined up in the neutral zone. It's a 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
Marcus Jones.
And off tackle right side. So the Cincinnati Bengals offense is really setting it up. And take a look. Here's Marcus Jones. He's just lined up over the ball. His hand is down there on the line, but I'm sure that head has gone over, and it's gone through that little neutral zone that the defensive lineman has to stay just short of.
2nd and 4 with the penalty. And Bennett stays in the game and breaks a tackle, and Brandon Bennett runs into Dexter Jackson, but he picks up a first down. 7 yards on the carry as the Bengals are going to the ground. 5 out of their 6 plays now have been on the turf.
Tackling, tackling, tackling. Bennett does a great spin move, gets into the action. He's been able to, he's a nice change of pace runner for when Corey Dillon gets tired. You bring in Bennett, and Bennett's been able to carry the load.
Bennett now with just 33 tackles, or excuse me, 33 carries on the season. And you see that play selection 5 times on the ground. And now play action. Kittner throws it outside, complete to Darnay Scott as Barber slipped on the play.
Darnay Scott takes him deep. He's threatening him deep. He's getting Rondé Barber in a conflict of assignment. Hey, do I get out of my back pedal? You see Darnay Scott, he's starting to press. He's eating up that void that was left. Cuts off, and Barber tries to make a cut. Slips on the turf. It was wet yesterday. There was a little bit of rain, but the field itself down earlier today, the field is fine. It has absorbed all the rain. And Barber, he's just got to get his feet under him and play with better technique.
They go to the ground, and it's Corey Dillon again. And you mentioned the rain. It rained here 3.5 inches this week, which is what they normally get for the entire month. But the field is in pretty good condition. As you say, you will see some guys slip. But this drive is no slip for the Bengals. This is the way they wanted to come out and start this football game.
Well, Warren Sapp has had a trouble getting his engine started in the first half of the season. Last 3 games, he stepped up and he's played big. But it looks like somebody needs to go out and wake up the Tampa Bay Buccaneer defense, because they look a little lackadaisical early in the game.
They go to the ground with Corey Dillon, and Dillon slashes forward, close to another first down, down to the 6-yard line. And you're right, you know, it's difficult to come off of a Monday night football game on the road, come back home, and go on the road again.
You take it, Willie Anderson, Mike Goff, Rayberg, he's the backside of this. He's getting the hands into McFarland, and they're just cutting it backside. And Simeon Rice, he's got to sit and stay and hesitate a little bit before he comes down the line. But they're not touching the Bengal running backs, Corey Dillon and Bennett, until they're well into the linebacker, 2-3 yards deep onto the defensive side.
10th play of the drive for the Bengals. Buccaneers show blitz. And Corey Dillon, with the extra effort, is very close to the first down, as Jamie Duncan is there making the tackle, but with the extra effort, he may have gotten it.
Confidence, such an important key. They're going to rely on that offensive line. Goff and Anderson, Lorenzo Neal, one of the biggest fullbacks, best blocking fullbacks in the league. They're going to rely on the big guys to get it done inside. And Corey Dillon, he's going to take some defensive secondary people on. He's going to stick his head in there and get the first down.
John Lynch came up there, and nobody comes up like Lynch. But Corey Dillon bowled him right over and got the extra push to bring out this measurement.
Confidence, such an important role on a team. When you have confidence, everything seems to come a little bit easier. And right now, the Cincinnati Bengals, they're building that confidence.
And they got the first down, 1st and goal from the 4-yard line. And the Bengals have gone 7 quarters without punching it into the end zone. They were shut out last week, and they scored a first-quarter touchdown against Tennessee, but haven't hit the end zone since then.
There's no better way to start a game off. The offense gets the ball. They put together a long drive. Your defense on the sideline, who's been carrying the team all year, watching the offense getting ready to put one into the end zone.
Corey Dillon cuts back, and Dillon stopped at the 1-yard line.
The drive put together, and we talked about earlier, the play selection. Both run and pass. They're going outside left, outside right, off tackle left and right. They've really been able to spread the ball around which way they're going to run. There's no keys. There's nothing that a defense can sit and set on and say, hey, this is where they plan on going. Great offensive play calling.
You're getting it done on the ground. Dillon 8 carries this drive for 20 yards. It's 2nd down and goal. toss it outside to Corey Dillon. And Dillon cannot get away.
Lorenzo Neal had the block on the perimeter. Corey Dillon, tremendous vision. There's Lorenzo Neal. He's going to come out and kick the perimeter man on the line of scrimmage. And he doesn't get Dexter Jackson. He doesn't get Dexter Jackson. Jackson trying to force it back inside. He's doing his job as the perimeter man. Corey Dillon looking inside, seeing nothing but Buccaneer defenders. He decides to stay outside, and he loses 5 yards.
3rd down and goal. Bengals 2 for 2 on 3rd downs in this drive. Getting it to the air, pump fake. Dumps it low underneath, incomplete, trying to hit the tight end McGee. It was Dexter Jackson with the coverage.
John Kitna, a lot of boos coming from the fans. The fans aren't happy with John Kitna. Got off to a great start. The Cincinnati Bengals 2-0 this year, but Kitna has bogged down in the offense. Here he pump fakes left, trying to draw safeties away, and goes to Tony McGee on the left side. Tony McGee can't come down with it's a poorly thrown ball. It's low. It bounces into Tony McGee. A tough ball for him to handle.
Neil Rackers has struggled. He's on the verge of losing his job. This one a 23-yarder, and Rackers gets off to Schneid. There's a flag down. You see what the flag is as Rackers makes the field goal. He was just 9 of 18, missed 2 last week in the wind up in Cleveland, and there was some thought that maybe he might be demoted this week. Jarrett Holmes they have on the practice squad, who's kicking well, and they thought maybe there would be a switch, but Dick LeBeau decided to stay with Rackers.
Rackers kicking at 50%. Most kickers in the league 75%. If you're kicking real well and you're one of the top guys, you're up at 80%. Neil Rackers at 50%. You can't have that.
There's no foul for leaping. Number 53 was legal because he was within 1 yard of line of scrimmage to begin with. The extra point is good. Timeout.
So the field goal stands, and the Cincinnati Bengals, an excellent opening drive, take a 3-0 lead over Tampa Bay. The Cincinnati Bengals with a 3-0 lead here early on. Neil Rackers with that field goal, and you see his kickoffs. He hasn't fared very well in that department either, and he kicks this one to Frank Murphy, who is trying to break the longest active streak. 398 games the Buccaneers have gone without a return. This is a pooch kick, and Murphy just knocks the thing out of bounds.
You've got to be aware as when you're on a kickoff return.
3-0 Cincinnati. Bucks with the ball. This Bengal offensive line, they put it together on that one. You look at the scoring drive, 13 plays, 70 yards, 10 of those plays on the ground.
And don't confuse yourself offensively, and Cincinnati didn't in that first drive. They put a hat on a hat. They said, we're going to establish the run. We're going to get Corey Dillon started. That's what Dick LeBeau wanted to see, and that's what he got. Even though it was only a field goal, his team has gained confidence.
Buccaneers start out at their own 22-yard line. Brad Johnson will hand this one off to Warrick Dunn, and Dunn picks up 3 onto the left side. And let's look at this Tampa Bay offense, averaging 302 yards a game. Walker, McDaniel, Christie, Coleman, and Wunsch up front. Green and Keyshawn Johnson are the receivers. Warrick Dunn and Mike Allstott in the backfield. David Moore is the tight end. And as mentioned, Brad Johnson in at quarterback. Johnson with a career record of 37 and 23 as a starter. You see his numbers for the season. Buccaneers keeping on the ground. Warrick Dunn with a move. Picks up another 4 yards off to that left side. Juwan Armour makes the tackle for the Bengals. Defense playing very well, ranked 10th in the NFL. The rookie Justin Smith up front with Tony Williams, Oliver Gibson, and Vaughn Booker. The linebackers, Spikes, Simmons, and Foley, an excellent group. Robert Bean makes the start today for the injured Artrell Hawkins. Roman the other corner. Juwan Armour and Corey Hall are the safeties for the Bengal defense. And it comes up with the first 3rd down. It's a 3rd and 3. And Johnson empties the backfield. Bengals blitz. They dump it underneath, complete to Jaquez Green for the first down. Nice job by Brad Johnson recognizing that blitz and hitting the hot.
Yeah, too much space given to the wide receiver. Brad Johnson reading the off coverage. But here, the blitz pickup, you take a look. Most dangerous is inside. And Jeff Christie, Randall McDaniel, and Coleman, they pick up all the inside guys and let Brad Johnson get rid of the ball. You got to go from inside to outside. Make sure you secure the middle and let the outside blitzers come free.
First and 10, I formation. Keyshawn Johnson in motion. Play action. They tried to set up the screen and nowhere to go for Brad Johnson, and he's sacked. Oliver Gibson, his third sack of the season.
Try setting up the screen to Mike Allstott. The defensive line sniffs it out. Oliver Gibson, Tony Williams, they sniff it out. You take a look. Here they are right here. They're going to try to set up that screen to the right side. Johnson taking a look, but all of a sudden, Spikes, Simmons, they're out there on the spot. They sniffed it out in man coverage, and they bump right up into the running back and don't let the play develop. Brad Johnson should run out and dump that ball, not take the sack.
Big loss on the play. Second 19, fumbled snap. And Johnson gets back on top of it as Justin Smith gets on top of him.
Not the way you want to start off offensively if you're a Buccaneer. Brad Johnson looking downfield, looking to read the blitzes, gets stepped on. Jeff Christie steps on him. His offensive guard got a little piece of him. He goes down. He has to recover. There it is, right there. He gets stepped on by Coleman. And Coleman just stepping deep inside, gets on Johnson. It's another wasted down, sets up a 3rd and 20 situation.
I thought he went down for the football. He got stepped on. You're right. 3rd and 22. And it looks like Brad Johnson ran out of time on the play clock.
That's the responsibility of the quarterback. The quarterback has to get his defensive line set. I mean, his offensive team set. You got to get up there, get the call in. You got to have enough time to get to the line of scrimmage and make an audible call if you have to. So that one falls directly on Brad Johnson's head.
Well, I tell you, somebody better give a wake-up call to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Cincinnati came out the opening drive and rammed it down their throat, and now the Buccaneer offense comes out, and they are stuck in reverse. 3rd and 27 in their opening drive. Johnson picked off. That's Hall. Excuse me, Chris Carter. '26-yard return on the interception by Carter.
It's a flag on the play.
Carter intercepted one last week against Cleveland. This will be 2 weeks in a row if it stands.
Called a defensive holding on the Cincinnati Bengals. It's going to be 5 yards.
Number 34 defense. It's a 5-yard penalty. It's an automatic first down.
Keyshawn.
It's a third,
with the penalty.
Yeah, 3rd down and 22 situation. See, Keyshawn just in there in coverage. Now, Keyshawn makes the move and he latches his arm around there. In a 3rd down and 22 situation, give him room and give him space. You don't need to be touching him all the way down the field. The official had to make that call, but what a terrible play on Keyshawn's part. 3rd and 22, give him space, give him room, break up when the ball is thrown. Not only that, but he takes an interception away from his team. Brad Johnson said they were walking into a hornet's nest here in Cincinnati, and so far he's been proved correct.
Well, that bad play by Keyshawn gives the Buccaneers offense new life. 1st and 10 at their own 25. Blitz comes. And Warrick Dunn can't avoid the first wave. That's Glenn Steele making the tackle.
Glenn Steele coming up the backside. It's a little zone run play. They're trying to set it up to come all the way to the backside, but Glenn Steele with too much penetration makes it happen.
It'll be the 7th play of this drive for the Buccaneers, but they haven't gone anywhere. Spinning their wheels. Johnson, quick slant. That one's complete to Jacquez Green, and right now for a game break. Let's go to JB in Los Angeles.
Ray and John, keep the name Phil Luckett in mind. Take a look at the flea flicker here. Aaron Brooks going for a wide-open Joe Horn, but guess who's there? The back judge. What's his name? Luckett. He had the coin toss controversy 2 years ago. Didn't want to be a referee because of that. He still can't avoid the spotlight. Back to Ray and John.
That poor guy. He's got a cloud over him.
Yeah, the officials are part of the field, though.
Big part of the field on that play. 3rd and 3, and Johnson nowhere to go on the 3-step. Now he throws it outside, and that's complete to the tight end, Dave Moore, for the first down. That was a nice job by Brad Johnson of staying with things.
It's Renard Wilson who's on the perimeter. It's the stands. Keyshawn Johnson setting up against Casevehorn. We saw the defensive holding earlier. He's running that little slant, little shake and bake slant in the middle. He was open early, then he tries to get downfield, but he's not open, so they end up taking it out to David Moore, the tight end, just beyond the first down marker. But Renard Wilson was rushing off the perimeter. Don't leave your feet as a rusher. Stay on the ground.
All stop in the tailback position on 1st and 10. All sides, Bengals. Jawan Armour makes the tackle, but there are flags down. Tom White trying to get the number.
Offsides. Number 94 defense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
And Tony Williams. Another penalty for the Bengals on this drive.
Trying to anticipate the snap to get a little advantage. He's going against Randall McDaniel. Well, he's been to a number of Pro Bowlers, so he's trying to get that advantage. But a little bit too jumpy right there. Brad Johnson gets him with the voice inflection.
First down and 5 after the penalty. Warrick Dunn back in the ball game. He takes the handoff. And Dunn will be chased outside. And he'll be run out of bounds by Corey Hall.
Cincinnati has to like the way they've been able to play today. Offensively, they get a lot of momentum early, a lot of confidence. Defensively, they're coming out and they're fighting. And I don't think the Monday night effect for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers we haven't mentioned yet, but you go play a Monday night game, an emotional victory on the road, you go back on the road with a short week. I think that's having an effect early on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
10th play of this drive for Tampa Bay. And Johnson dumps it underneath, complete to Cook, and Cook will be about a yard shy of the first down, and that is the end of the first quarter with the score. Cincinnati 3, Tampa Bay nothing. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Second part of our doubleheader, Marshall Faulk and the high-powered Rams will look to rebound from last week's loss to the Bucks when they take on Chris Chandler and a Falcons team trying to stay in the playoff race. A full day of NFL action continues next on Fox. And you see Atlanta and Washington have had the hot hand of late. And that one looked like the fumbled snap that I had called earlier as Brad Johnson had to just fall on the football.
Tampa
actually, excuse me, it was a quarterback sneak. They're going the other way now.
Tampa. On this drive, the 11 plays, only 25 yards. 4 of those for negative yardage, 2 sacks. Warrick Dunn brought down in the backfield, but they've gone nowhere. They've had the ball for a lot of plays, but they haven't been able to move the ball up the field.
11 plays and just 25 yards covered. They run the trap. Warrick Dunn gets it up to midfield. Right now, let's get it out to Los Angeles. Here's JB.
Hey, Ray and John, after a little bit of help from Phil Luckett on that incomplete pass, Carolina, 7 plays, 80 yards, capping it with the quarterback draw by Chris Winkie. His 4th rushing touchdown of the season, and it's 7-0 Carolina over Nolans. Back to Ray and John Yurkovich.
That's a tough division right there, Yurko.
A lot of competition, top 4 teams all vying for the playoffs. New Orleans didn't expect to see them at 5-5, thought they'd have a better record, but Atlanta's fought its way back with 3 straight victories.
Johnson outside, connects with Green, and he gets close to the first down.
It's the patience of Brad Johnson finding his people that make him effective.
Take a look at these first quarter stats, and they are skewed in the side of the Cincinnati Bengals with a 3-0 lead.
You see the Bengal commitment to the running game. They got 23 yards early, making a commitment, trying to get the run established.
Juwan Armour is injured on the field, and we'll take an injury timeout. 3-0 Cincinnati.
Here, making the tackle on Jaquez Green. Big old Warrick comes down, gives him a shot right on the helmet, causing the injury. He's on the sidelines.
First down on that play, 1st and 10, Buccaneers. And Brad Johnson hits his 6th consecutive pass. Jaquez Green makes another catch, and that's the fourth catch on the day for Green.
It's great patience out of Brad Johnson. You can tell he's going to go with what the defense is going to give him, and right now they're giving him those short patterns to the perimeter. They're dropping back in a cover 3 and a deep 3, and Jaquez Green has 4 catches. Cook and Moore, tight end and a fullback. No receptions by the outside, by Keyshawn Johnson.
15th play of the drive in Tampa Bay, and it's a run with Warrick Dunn. Dunn spins around and picks up 5 yards. And this is just the second drive of the ball game, and it's been 2 very long drives, and this one is featuring Warrick Dunn on the ground. 6 carries, 11 yards for Dunn.
And Warrick Dunn, one of the most exciting running backs in the league. He's out of Florida State. When he came in, everybody thought, boy, this guy's not big enough to play. He's not durable, but he's proved over the course of his career that he could step in there and make big plays and rush for good yards.
Keyshawn Johnson in motion. He comes underneath, and it's the tight end who makes the catch. There's a flag down as Tony Williams, dropping out in a fire zone, put the hit on the tight end, Moore.
And referee Tom White signaled illegal use of the hands.
Holding, number 71 offense. It's a 10-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
It's actually Mike Allstott who made that catch and took the big hit. Let's take a listen to it. Pretty good hit from Tony Williams out there playing in space.
Yeah, Tony Williams didn't get much of a pass. He starts dropping back in that zone drop, and all of a sudden Allstott's in front of him, and he lays the wood to him.
2nd and 16. Johnson throws it outside, and that is complete to Jaquez Green. 15 yards on the play as Green was working on Mark Roman.
Brad Johnson drops back. He's got all day to sit and peruse the field. Looks down at his reads, finds his number 1 receiver down, takes a look, and he hits him. And Roman just off in coverage. He can't find him. Jaquez Green, the number 1 receiver today, catches his 5th ball. But Roman nowhere to be found. He's given too much cushion. The Bengals need to tighten that defense up, and they need to find a way to get that football back.
11 minutes and counting left here in the 2nd quarter. It's still the opening drive for Tampa Bay, and they take their first timeout. We'll take one as well. Bengals up 3-0. Bucks driving. It's just the 2nd drive of the ball game, the 17th play of the drive for Tampa Bay. 3rd down and 2. And Johnson tries the quarterback sneak, and he doesn't get it. Oliver Gibson shoots the gap.
Oliver Gibson shot the gap. Looked like he was offsides. He was so quick. He anticipated the snap count, and he anticipated it right because he got through it before Johnson could get started. He was in there right here on the nose tackle, but Christian Coleman. And there he is. Coleman just sat there. That's one of those plays where Johnson comes up and gives the center a little goose, and the rest of the offensive linemen aren't aware of it. Johnson takes the ball and thinks he can get the quarterback sneak. Well, Oliver Gibson was paying attention, and he saw that goose, and he made the play.
Yeah, Christie moved a little early, and now Martin Gramatica comes on to attempt the 43-yard field goal, and he leaves it out wide right. So after a 17-play drive, the Buccaneers come up empty. Gramatica misses from 43 yards. And with 10:35 left, Bengals up 3-0. Very lonely on the end of the bench. He's hit just one of his last 4 field goals. That drive, 18 plays. The 11 minutes and 15 seconds is the longest drive in Buccaneer history. Came up with no points as Kitna is hit immediately by Steve White. His pass goes incomplete, intended for Lorenzo Neal. Let's go back to that Gramatica kick.
Well, Martin Gramatica, he lined up for this kick. He's lined up fine, but he just kind of wants to pooch it through. He doesn't really give it a great shot. Pushes it to the right. The football had no draw on it and didn't come back. And there you could say he's feeling the pressure and he's feeling the guys come in on him. But against St. Louis, he duck hooked one, and I think he's afraid of duck hooking another football.
2nd and 10 for the Bengals, their second drive of the day. Corey Dillon. Dillon runs into Quarles and pushes forward for about 3 yards. Let's push it out to Los Angeles. For an update, here's JB.
All right, let's take a look at Detroit trying its best to get its first victory of the season, capitalizing on the 10-play, 95-yard drive with that 3-yard run by James Stewart. Detroit is up by 7. Back to Ray Bentley and Johnny Yurkovich.
Thank you, JB. And you see Detroit trying to slay Chicago today. And, boy, they've lost, what, 7 games in a row now by 8 points or less. Amazing dry spell for the Lions. As Kitman is going to be sacked on this one. Simeon Rice coming around the corner. Rice gets his 4th sack of the season.
Simeon Rice just around the edge on Richmond Webb. So he's down here all the way on the bottom. He's working with Warren Sapp. Simeon just going out around the perimeter, puts the arms down. Kitna has to step up. Kitna doesn't step up. Richmond Webb thinks he's fine. He's just going to push him around the perimeter.
And Warren Sapp collapsed on his way off the football field.
It's not a good sign. If you're a Tampa Bay Buck fan, see your big guy, your main horse in the middle, Warren Sapp. Did he faint? I mean,
I don't know. He took a knee over there. Went to the knee.
Trying to get his bearings straight.
Carl Williams back to receive the punt. Nick Harris averaging 41.3 yards a kick for Cincinnati. That's blocked. Rondé Barber blocks it. And it's picked up, and that'll be a touchdown for the Buccaneers. Todd Yoder.
Rondé Barber came off the left side. He was unencumbered. Nobody touched him. Rondé Barber's done this before in the past. Joe Marciano and the special teams for the Tampa Bay Bucks. They've been able to block punts before. You see Barber coming off on the top side here. Here he is. He sneaks in as a creeper. He comes in from the outside gunners. Nobody touches him. Nobody pays attention to him. He blocks the punt. Yoder picks it up, takes it into the end zone. The Tampa Bay Bucks were looking for a way to jumpstart their team and jumpstart their offense. Well, here it is, a great special teams play.
Gramatica adds the extra point, and Tampa Bay has awoken. Make it on the board, 7-3. Tampa Bay over Cincinnati. And special teams get it done. Todd Yoder, his first career touchdown. Got it in an unconventional fashion. Picked up the blocked punt and took it 11 yards into the end zone. Rondé Barber is the man who blocked that punt. Gramatica kicks this one to the corner, and Brandon Bennett picks it up for the return and runs into his own man, and he gets it out to the 25-yard line. A 14-yard return for Bennett. But the special teams have gotten the Buccaneers with the lead.
Rondé Barber. Barber comes free, gets to the block point, and he makes the block. Bennett starts to head out, but he stops. And he comes back in, and he picks up an inside rusher. Barber gets it. Yoder picks it up. Take a look here. Case Bahar is screaming, creeper, creeper, creeper. And there's Rondé Barber coming in. The way he gets in there, and he'll go for the block on the snap. So they accounted for everything.
Yeah, there's Corey Dillon running there. But what should happen is Harris should see that, catch the snap, and throw it out to Case Bahar, and it's an easy go for the Bengals. That's a built-in audible that most teams have on special teams when you get that creeper call. But with a rookie punter, Nick Harris,
I don't know if he just didn't have the guts to make the call or what, but he let that thing go, and that's what caused the problem.
He didn't have the moxie. And the Tampa Bay Bucks, they had a coverage guy coming out real late, so they didn't show that they were coming with the blitz with Rondé Barber.
Nice special teams play by the Buccaneers. Corey Dillon, who's been on the bench for quite some time, picks up a couple yards, and right now, let's pick up a couple, head out to Los Angeles. Here's JB.
And picking up at least one, Ray, is Jerome Bettis, capping a 10-play, 68-yard drive. Jerome Bettis now with 1,000 yards rushing for his 6th straight season, 8th overall. Pittsburgh on top by 4. Back to Ray and John.
Thank you, JB, and you see the couple of guys that are getting it done. How about Cordell Stewart? Has he matured into an excellent quarterback?
A lot of people giving up on him around the league, and Stewart's proving them all wrong. Randy Moss, boy, he just needs to be a little bit more disciplined and run his routes to completion.
You're right about that. As Kittner on 3rd down goes from a shotgun and shoots it across the middle, and that is complete to Chad Johnson for 12 yards and a 1st down. Johnson missed 4 games earlier with a broken collarbone, made his return last week against Cleveland, and he was a hot receiver before he got hurt. Had caught 10 passes within 2 games.
And the offensive line doing a nice job of protection. You take a look, there's Warren Sapp lined up in that 4-eye over top of the tackle, and they just collapse it all down. Nobody finding any room, and Kittner he's going to find his space, areas that he can throw the ball without hands in front of his eyes.
John Kittner 3 of 5 for 37 yards. And they hand it off to Corey Dillon, and Dillon breaks to the right side for 4 yards. And got a little Johnson and Johnson story for you. Keyshawn Johnson and Chad Johnson, cousins.
One from Liberty City, the other one from South Central. 2 guys, they're cousins. Keyshawn brought his cousin out to California, let him train, helped him out a little bit. Because needless to say, you got to have finances if you're going to train properly. And these 2 guys, they get along. They're best friends. They talk to each other. They make sure they support each other. And Keyshawn looking for Chad to be successful.
Somebody needs to talk to Darnay Scott as he drops the Kittner pass for a would-be 1st down. Brings up 3rd down and 6 now.
That's one thing Kittner talked about, was the fact too many drop balls, young receivers making too many mistakes, and repeating those mistakes. Kittner would like to be able to fire the ball out and have the guys hold on to it. You can't play wide receiver in this league if you can't hold on to the football. Kittner would like to see some accountability out of his wide receivers. Catch the ball, don't make the same mistake twice.
And it's 3 of 5 on 3rd down conversions. Blitz come. Kittner whips it outside to Warrick, but he's going to be short of the 1st down.
Tampa Bay brings the big blitz up in the middle.
And I think Kittner had time. He kind of panicked and just whipped it out there.
Hey, he did panic, and the blitzer was coming unencumbered here. They're so concerned with what's happening with the defensive line, Warren Sapp, McFarland, White, what's happening, that once he saw that blitz break through, he just wanted to get it out and not take the sack.
Harris gets this punt away. It's not blocked this time. Carl Williams with a fair catch, and he makes that catch at the 18-yard line. So the Buccaneers with the lead will get the football back. Its biggest stars are on Fox. It's the 2001 Billboard Music Awards live from the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. Don't miss the music event of the year. That's Tuesday at 8, 7 Central, right here on Fox. And the Buccaneers with just their 2nd possession on offense. The first time they had it for 18 plays and didn't score. Now Keyshawn Johnson makes his first reception of the game. They throw him out there one-on-one against Robert Bean.
Bean positions himself outside, lines up Keyshawn on his inside shoulder, and makes the play, forcing him back inside. If he misses, the pursuit of the Cincinnati Bengals defense will make the tackle for him.
And Brad Johnson, perfect on the day, 8 for 8 for 63 yards. He goes to the air again and dumps it off to Allstott. And Allstott with a block from Keyshawn makes it up, picks up the 1st down. Juwan Armour runs Allstott out of bounds, gain of 12. And Johnson goes to 9 for 9.
Brad Johnson finding his receivers all over the field open. Here's Justin Smith. He's the rookie from Missouri, the first-round draft choice. He puts a shot on the tight end, then he comes back out in coverage, but he took himself to the wrong area. He should have buzzed out to the flat where Allstott's at. Instead, he dropped in to the hook area where he had two other Bengal defenders. He needed to come out to the flat.
Hard for the rookie defensive lineman to get pass coverage down. Keyshawn Johnson makes his second grab of this series, and Justin Smith, we had a nice opportunity to talk with him, and I tell you, the line coach, Tim Crumry, is beside himself over Justin Smith. He said the guy's got an incredible motor, and you don't realize the strength he has. I mean, the guys look at him, oh, he's only 268 pounds. I'm going to have a field day. I'm going to push him around. Not quite.
He's intense. He's maniacal. He brings the right attitude onto the field. And you take a look, he's power cleaning 500 pounds, bench pressing 530, and he puts the big weight up on the squat. He's a strong individual.
Foley on the blitz. Keyshawn Johnson with the reception. Nice job by Brad Johnson of seeing the blitz and throwing in behind Steve Foley and connecting with Keyshawn for the first down.
Simple throws, short patterns. Here's Justin Smith up against Kenyatta Walker, the other rookie out of Florida. Kenyatta Walker with the victory. Justin Smith in his repertoire is just the upfield rush. There's Keyshawn coming across in a simple post pattern. It's like playing catch in practice before anybody's even out there. There's no coverage, no bumping, not in Keyshawn's face on the line of scrimmage. They can continue to do that all day.
We go back to the ground with Warrick Dunn, and Dunn shifts his way for a couple of yards up the middle. And the Buccaneers have another drive going. The first drive, as I said, 18 plays. This one now coming up, the 6th play of the drive.
The offensive line really put a hat on a hat. The Buccaneers on Cincinnati's defenders. Warrick Dunn is doing a little bit too much dancing in the backfield. A little too much hopping. He's hopping back and forth. He's not hitting the hole. They're opening up holes. Warrick Dunn has to find those holes and get through them.
Johnson. And he is sacked by Justin Smith, the rookie from Missouri. His second sack of the day for the Bengal defense. First for Smith. He's got 3.5 on the season.
And Justin Smith lined up out. They bring somebody outside of him. And Kenyatta Walker makes the mistake. He goes after the outside rusher instead of staying on the inside. You always want to stay big on big. Offensive lineman on big defensive lineman. Let your back pick up the blitzers.
You see the numbers for Smith in his rookie year, and he came in the night before the first game. He was a holdout. Took a while to get signed. He said he didn't know what was going on for about the first 4 or 5 weeks. 3rd and 15. Warrick Dunn on the screen. And Dunn is caught and tackled by Smith again. Justin Smith had a nice series.
The 3rd and 15, not a lot of success, not a lot of plays the offensive coordinator can look at. Justin Smith with the inside move on Kenyatta. He's getting out, reads the screen, and he's in pursuit. Helps make the play. But Justin Smith, he's a motor guy. He's nonstop. He'll be all over the football field. And he talked about how he's still fresh. The fact that he didn't have to participate in training camp, he's still fresh, and he's just getting his legs.
And the clock winds down. We have our 2-minute warning here in Cincinnati with the score. The Buccaneers 7, Bengals 3. Punt.
Take a look at TJ. He's the only Bengal with the tail. Look at that little ponytail right there.
Well, he had a big week last week against the Browns, had that 86-yard return. He also put it on the ground once as Mark Royals is set to punt this one away. Royals, you see the streak without a punt block. No rush on this one as Royals hangs it high, and Bruce Manzata has to make the fair catch, and he does at the 16-yard line. 35-yard punt, no return. Buccaneers up 7-3. Show JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris will have scores and highlights from around the league, and our Fox Sports ticker will have up to the second stats, all coming up on the Visa halftime show. John Kitna takes that Buccaneer offense 1st and 10 from their own 17. Play action. Kitna dumps it underneath to Tony McGee, and McGee is hit hard on the perimeter as Kelly went low on McGee, and McGee is slow to get up.
And McGee's had aches and pains in the past. Hope he's healthy, because they need him.
Tony McGee will be attended to, and we'll take a break. Up, and now he's being helped off the football field.
Not a good sound, especially if you're Tony McGee. You don't want to hear that type of contact. They were forced to use a timeout because they had an injured player under 2 minutes. Cincinnati only has one other tight end.
Well, they have Brad St. Louis, who is also the long snapper, but they also have today Nick Williams, number 30, who's been activated, and he's been working at the tight end spot. So if push comes to shove, they can use Williams in that position.
And Darnay Scott also came off the field in that play complaining about a hand injury.
4 wide receivers, no tight ends in the mix, and they run the draw. And here goes Corey Dillon, and Dillon picks up the first down off to the right side. Bengals with 2 timeouts left as the flag comes out at the end of the play.
Came down in the area of John Lynch.
And that is a face mask call against the Buccaneers.
Face mask. It's number 21 defense. That's a 5-yard penalty. First down.
Donnie Abraham.
Johnny Abraham in on the play. Just gets a hand on the face mask. It's the 5-yard version. That's innocent. But you got to make sure you bring down Corey Dillon on that play.
You see the Bengals' first 3 possessions. The first one is a nice 14-play drive. Then they had the punt block, and then they had to punt again. Bogged down after that initial nice drive. And Kitney with pressure. He dumps it underneath to Corey Dillon, and Dillon will be tackled before he can get out of bounds on a nice play by Abraham.
Kitna, I think, is giving up going downfield too early. He's feeling a little bit of pressure. Here's Warren Sapp in that 4-eye on Rayburg. Rayburg described by his coach Dick LeBeau as one of the best holders in the league. Gets on top of Warren and shuts him down.
This one is complete to Dugans for the first down. And now Kitna uses that second timeout. With 1 minute and 1 second left, we'll take a timeout as well. Cincinnati trailing by 4, but they're on the move. Lead to Peter Warrick. Just a modest gain.
Yeah, too short of a passing game. You've got to be able to find something downfield. If you're going to waste the time and you're going to take time off the clock, you have to get downfield.
Getting a 3-step, and that one just slips out of his hands. He changed his mind. He was going to throw it out to Darnay Scott, and then he brought it back down, and it got away from him.
Lucky he did change his mind. He's throwing right into coverage. Here's Kitna. You can see him get nervous in the middle. He just goes to throw, wants to hold on, and the inertia of the ball and the momentum that it was carrying just slips out of his hand. That's a forward pass. He's going to tuck that ball in, but that's a forward pass.
See Kitna's numbers on the day, 8 of 12 for 61, facing a 3rd down here.
Watch the screen.
Comes out as Kitna finds a wide open Peter Warrick, and Warrick does the smart thing and gets out of bounds, but not in time. They leave the clock running, but they'll stop it because of the flag.
They're going to keep that clock running. Once they see you're not going down the football field and trying to gain yardage, and you're going backwards to get out of bounds, they're going to call you inbounds even if you make it out of bounds, so they'll keep that clock churning.
Number 79 offense. It's a 10-yard penalty. It remains 3rd down.
You said he was the best holder in the league, Rayburg, according to Coach Dick LeBeau. He got caught.
And here he is right here, one of the strongest and best holders in the league. He's got to be able to work those hands inside. It's the takedown. That's what they see. Once you see that defensive player going down and getting thrown down to the ground, the umpire's in a position where he sees that perfectly. That's his focus. He has to throw the flag.
Rayburg, a 5-year man out of my alma mater, Central Michigan University. He killed the drive. Bennett with the reception. He gets back up to midfield. They're going to bring up a 4th down. And without question, LeBeau sends the punt team onto the field. And I expect the Buccaneers to take a timeout, and they do. We'll take one as well with 15 seconds left here in the first half. Buccaneers up by 4. In fact, that was an opportunity for the Bengals to make a statement here in the first half. Instead, they have to punt. And Harris hits this one good. There was nobody back for Tampa Bay. They went with the all-out rush, and it goes into the end zone for a touchback. They'll stop the clock with 2 seconds left, so it gives me a chance to tell you that coming up on the Visa Halftime Show, JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris will have scores and highlights from around the league. And then our Fox Sports ticker will have up to the second stats, all coming up on the Visa halftime report. The Buccaneers have just 2 seconds left from their own 20-yard line. Do you take a shot here, Yurko, or you just keep it on the ground?
I try to take a shot downfield. It doesn't hurt. You're up 7-3. You're going in at halftime. Of course, Brad Johnson and Tony Dungy, they're going to sit on the ball, but you might get a pass interference penalty down the field.
Well, they don't take that chance, and Brad Johnson takes the knee. And so that brings us to our halftime with Tampa Bay up 7-3. The Visa halftime report is next after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Look at that great drive to start things out. And this is Bennett making one of his runs on it. And Corey Dillon also a big part of it. He had 8 carries on the drive. This is one of the few pass plays on the drive. Darnay Scott with the big reception. Dillon stopped just shy of the goal line. They had to go and kick the field goal after that one. And then the last 3 drives have been fruitless for John Kitna and the Cincinnati Bengals. Now for Tampa Bay, they really have done well on special teams. That's really the only place that they have gotten it done today. And the biggest play was that blocked punt by Rondé Barber.
Yeah, they went with an overload on the side. Rondé Barber was unaccounted for. He went in. He made the big play with the block punt. Martin Gramatica, unfortunately, he's made one of his last 4 field goals. But Rondé Barber with the big play, and Yoder picks it up, scores a touchdown. The only points for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And Brad Johnson has been perfect here in the first half. 12 consecutive completions to start the ball game. He's thrown for 97 yards, no touchdowns or interceptions. He's 3 shy of a record for Tampa Bay.
Keep it simple and stupid for your offensive quarterback. That's what he's doing. Find the open man and hit him. And that's what he's been able to do, whether it's the running back, it's the tight end, wide receivers, Jaquez Green catching the crux of the balls. But you take a look, the wide receivers have caught 8, running backs 3. And, the tight ends have only caught 1, but that's the type of distribution he needs. He doesn't bias it one way or the other to where he's going to go. Whatever the defense is willing to give him is where he's willing to go.
Green with 5 catches, 48 yards. Keyshawn Johnson, 3 grabs for 21 yards. As Neil Rackers has it racked up and ready to roll here to start the second half. Frank Murphy back to return for Tampa Bay, and Rackers pops this one up again high, and a fair catch is called for and made by the Buccaneers' Sean McDermott. And let's take a look at the first half stats.
Nothing gaudy here when you take a look at the first half stats. Rushing yards, only 12 for the Buccaneers. They wanted to establish the run. 40 yards for the Bengals. No turnovers in the game. That's a surprise. Though you would think that that block punt might be called a turnover. Time of possession, the statistics describe what type of game it is on the field. Not too exciting. On the ground, everybody's committed not to make big mistakes.
First and 10, Dave Moore in motion. Brad Johnson back to throw. And he is 13 in a row now for Johnson as he connects with Green for 13 yards. And let's go down to Dan Ward for an injury report.
Ray, the word on the sideline is that Tony McGee has a sprained right knee. He's undergoing an MRI right now and will not return in the second half. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Dan. Also, Darnay Scott hurt his ribs, and the report is he will attempt to come back and play in this game.
Those were ribs that were already injured, and he got them banged up a little bit, came to the sideline at the end of the first half.
Buccaneers go to the ground with Warrick Dunn, and Dunn finds room off to the left side. He picks up 7 yards.
That's the way I like to see Warrick Dunn run. Straight ahead, downfield, not a lot of hopping, not a lot of dancing in the offensive backfield. Get him out to the perimeter, kick the exterior guys, the outside guys out, block everybody down inside, give him a lane to choose up on the safety. 6 times out of 10, 60% of the time, he'll be able to juke that safety and break a big one.
Second down and 3. The Bengals show blitz, and here they come. And Johnson reads it and goes downfield for Keyshawn Johnson. He makes the catch. and he's knocked out of bounds by Armour, but not until he gets all the way up to the Bengals 21-yard line.
Juwan Armour with great coverage on Keyshawn Johnson. Brad Johnson, he's going to get back. He's going to look. He sees the blitz. He has pre-snap reads. He knows he's getting single coverage over on that right side. Look at the offhand, that push. Look at that little push by Keyshawn Johnson, a veteran, big play guy. He knows how to make room for himself, and Roman goes for the jump. There's 4 or 5 yards in between the two of them. Keyshawn knows how to make room in this tight cover.
He beat Mark Roman for the 34-yarder. Now the flag is out, and it'll be a call going against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. False start.
Number 81 offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. It remains first down.
Jaquez Green got a little anxious.
Jaquez doing a little dancing. There's Jaquez. Just a little hesitation, and he can reset, but there was a man in motion. So that would have been 2 men in motion. They have to call the illegal procedure penalty.
Yeah, really, I mean, you're looking in at the ball. There's no excuse for that.
Jaquez Green he can wait for as long as he can to get off the ball.
And Johnson throws it incomplete to Keyshawn Johnson, and Foley was on the coverage, and there's a flag down. So if the penalty overrules the play, that 14 for 14 streak would stay alive for Brad Johnson.
That penalty.
Pass interference. Number 95 defense. He hooks the receiver. It's an automatic first down.
Streak stays alive.
Sometimes you need to catch a few breaks when you've got a streak going. And the fact that Foley's out on Keyshawn is a little bit of a mismatch. But there's the left hand all over Keyshawn Johnson. The official sees it, calls holding.
Warrick Dunn. Nowhere to go over there. He runs right into Brian Simmons.
Keyshawn's been in the newspapers this week. He's got his own radio show where he's got 2 hours all by himself, no co-host. And his opinions, he doesn't bear anything. I mean, he's ready to go over everybody. He's a little disappointed in his wide receivers, not happy with their productivity. People call them young, but they're 4 or 5 years guys. They need to make plays.
Brad Johnson down the middle, and he overshoots his tight end, Dave Moore, and the streak is over. Johnson now 14 of 15. And Keyshawn Johnson yet to score a touchdown. He's closing in on James Wilder, who in 1984 had 85 catches, no touchdowns, and then Roger Craig in 86 had 81 catches, no touchdowns. Keyshawn Johnson is at 80 right now and still no touchdowns.
And Keyshawn's afraid right when they get to the 20 and they get in the red zone because he says he doesn't get the opportunity to catch balls in the end zone.
Johnson rolling out, has to throw it away. Had big pressure on him coming from Renard Wilson.
Keyshawn talking about the fact that in other years he'd get 4 chances in the end zone in one drive, and here's Keyshawn coming across the middle. Brad Johnson being flush, but there's inside-outside coverage on Keyshawn Johnson. They know he's the threat. He's the big physical guy, the guy you could throw an alley-oop pass to. They're going to make sure they pay attention to him, the Bengals.
And so the Buccaneers will have to attempt a field goal here in the opening drive of the second half. And Gramatica has struggled this one from 38 yards. And he is off the schneid. That one's good. Gramatica field goal puts the Buccaneers up now 10-3. The opening drive produces points, although not what Keyshawn wanted, and Gramatica splits the upright.
Every year at this time, folks at Southwest Airlines get to...
Ray Bentley along here with John Yurkovich at Riverfront Stadium, and Keyshawn Johnson receiving congratulations on the sideline. He had the big play, the 34-yard catch, in that Buccaneers 7-play, 55-yard scoring drive. Curtis Keaton is back to receive the Gramatica kick. Takes it from the 11-yard line. And Keaton gets his way up to the 30, a 19-yard return. And well, after that drive, Keyshawn Johnson was upset. He wanted more than just a field goal.
been held out of the end zone for a long time. He's a little frustrated at the fact that he's not getting opportunities to catch the ball in the end zone. And he went over to talk to quarterback Brad Johnson, and Brad explains to what he's seeing, what he's taking a look at. He's probably saying, hey, I didn't get too much protection once we got down there, and I was running for my life, so I couldn't find it.
The Bengals take over on their own 30-yard line. Kitna has this one batted up, and he does a nice job of knocking the ball away from Marcus Jones. Jones batted the ball and almost picked it off.
It looked like a volleyball set. Jones coming off the edge. Kitna trying to go to the running back out in the perimeter. Lorenzo Neal. And there he is. The tip comes from Marcus Jones. And then John Kitna looks a little bit like Steve Timmons or Karch Karai and tries to spike that one right over the net.
Nice spike, except you usually don't get hit in the face after you spike it in volleyball. That was full contact. On second down, they go to the ground with Corey Dillon. Dillon on the cutback. Runs into Derrick Brooks.
This is what Cincinnati gets back. They need to get back to this. They need to get back to Corey Dillon getting handoffs, making the decision on where he wants to run. He's a nice, patient runner. He's going to take a look at what's happening. He's going to find a hole, and he's going to get positive yardage.
You can see he's home at home. Dillon on the day, 15 carries, 38 yards. Third down and 5 for the Bengals. Kitna throws across the body, almost picked off by John Lynch. Can't quite say who he was throwing it to.
And that's one of the things.
Nobody there.
Yeah, that's a thing a quarterback can never do. Throw across your body, back against the grain, across the field. You're asking for trouble. What John Kitna's doing and what he sees, it really doesn't make a difference. His receiver slips down, but that ball, once you start throwing across the body, you're destined for trouble.
Especially down the middle, late in the down. That's the three evils.
Yeah.
So they'll have to punt it away. They had one blocked in the first half. Rondé Barber blocked it. Gilbert picked it up. Scored from 11 yards out. That was the only touchdown of the day as Carl Williams makes his way outside, and he is thrown out of bounds by Chris Carter.
Let's go.
And we'll take a break. Buccaneers up 10-3. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers up 10-3. Johnson completed 14 consecutive passes to start the ball game. Misfired on his last 2. And he'll go to the air again. He dumps it outside, complete to the tight end, Dave Moore, and Moore is hit and dragged down by Mark Roman. And Jaquez Green has been the #1 receiver for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here today. 6 catches for 61 yards. Here's a little look at him in the first half.
And Jaquez Green, he's playing hurt today. He had a groin injury, moved up now to an abdominal strain, but he's sucking it up. He's getting out there, and he's getting it done. Not dropping anything. Everything thrown to him, he's catching, moving the chains downfield.
Second down and 2. We go to the ground. Work done. Tries to make the cutback, and he can't get away from Tony Williams.
Tony Williams and Oliver Gibson, the 2 tackles inside. They're both making it happen with penetration. Their penetration, a little twist inside on the game. And Tony Williams comes free off of Randall McDaniel, makes the play, and Warrick Dunn.
And I think that's one of the additions to the Bengals defense that has really helped solidify them. Tony Williams, coming over from Minnesota, has done a great job playing that 3 technique.
Both guys in the middle, very mobile, can chase people down from behind.
3rd and 5, blitz comes. Johnson with time, throws it outside, complete to his tight end, Dave Moore, for the first down.
Cincinnati defense a little discombobulated at the line of scrimmage. Didn't get the call in time. Everybody was hopping around, and we didn't get a rush. We didn't get the type of rush from the Cincinnati team, the defense that we needed. Here's the confusion right here. Nobody has the call. Everybody's standing, taking a look where we should be. Only 3 guys end up rushing, and on the 3rd and 5, everybody needs to be on the same page. Cincinnati gave up a first down.
Goes to the ball just in the Bengal territory as Warrick Dunn squeezes through and picks up 4 yards. Takeo Spikes makes the play.
great battles inside between the offensive line and the defensive line. Here you're going to see a double on Oliver Gibson. It's a scoop double. Randall McDaniel gets the double scoop, gets him outside of him in the B gap, and Christie comes back up on Simmons. The offensive line got exactly what it needed. Christie on the linebacker, Randall McDaniel moving Gibson out and taking him backside.
See the rush yards, 18 today. The longest carry of the day, a 7-yarder by Warrick Dunn. Here comes the blitz, and he got there early. And Johnson just fires it away. There are flags down. Spikes was offsides.
It's great when you can time a blitz, but when you don't time that blitz, you get penalties. And Cincinnati just trying to gamble. They gambled unnecessarily.
Offsides, number 56 defense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Remains. Second down.
Well, they got Simmons, but I think Spikes was offsides as well. But Dick LeBeau's defense is all it was advertised, ranked 10th coming in, and they've done a good job. The only points the Buccaneer offense has put together was that Gramatica field goal.
And it's the defense, the penetrating style of defense, the fast, quick defense, zone blitz defense that has caused Brad Johnson to go through his progressions and find his receivers late.
It's Keyshawn on the slant, complete for the first down, a gain of 10 on the play. And Keyshawn Johnson makes yet another grab, 81 on the year. That ties him.
And Keyshawn can run this pattern until the cows come home. Cincinnati refuses to cover him tight. They refuse to put a man up, and they refuse to put somebody on the line of scrimmage with a little bump and run coverage, trying to slow down Keyshawn. The timing on that play it's impeccable between Brad Johnson and Keyshawn.
Bengals come with a blitz late, and Brad Johnson reads it, throws it to Keyshawn Johnson into the end zone. Incomplete. Johnson couldn't get around the good coverage over there by Mark Roman.
Keyshawn, the wide receiver that was double covered. They should have went to Frank Murphy on the top side. He had the single coverage. He had his man beat, and he was going to the end zone. He was the one that was open. You need to go to that left side. And Brad, I think in the haste of trying to get Keyshawn a touchdown and give him a chance in the end zone, I think he could have read that double coverage and sent that to the backside to Frank Murphy.
81 catches without a touchdown. We asked him about it. Everyone's asking him about it. He's trying to get him one just to get the monkey off his back. 2nd and 10. Brad Johnson zips it outside, and that is complete to the tight end Yoder. But no, they're going to say he was pushed out of bounds, and so they'll say it was a complete.
They give him the completion. If the referees feel that he can make that catch, and his feet will come down inbounds, if he's pushed out, they're going to call that a reception.
You got him in anyway.
Talent. That's what that is. Talent and awareness.
Nice job by Todd Yoder, his initial catch of the season.
His initial touchdown.
Big day, big initial day for him.
Yoder, who'd have thought Yoder would be the key man today?
3rd and 6. Johnson over the middle, that's complete. Now it's fumbled. Allstott fumbled the football. Chris Carter picked it up. Second takeaway of the day for Carter. He intercepted a pass earlier, and now he picks up a fumble, and it thwarts the Tampa Bay drive. It's 10-3 Buccaneers. It was Robert Bean over there. He put his head right on the football and popped it out. Chris Carter recovered it. I had said Carter had an interception earlier, but that was actually nullified by a penalty, so it's the first turnover of the ball game. And Corey Dillon takes it off to the right side for a couple. Let's go back to that last play, that turnover.
There's a crossing route run in the middle between Keyshawn and Mike Allstott. Allstott, the one who comes free, makes the catch, turns it upfield, and then Bean just ducks his head, puts it on the ball. Allstott, who's prone to fumbling, fumbles here. Chris Carter picks it up, returns it for yardage. But Cincinnati now has the momentum, has the crowd behind them. Now John Kitna has to lead this team and move them down the field and score a touchdown.
They stay on the ground at 2nd and 6, and Corey Dillon fights Jamie Duncan for a couple of yards. 10-3 Tampa Bay over Cincinnati with 5:58 and counting left. And you know, the Cincinnati Bengals are not out of it by any means. They're trailing by 7 in this game, but they're 4-6, and they still have wild card aspirations in the AFC.
They're going to have to start winning games. 6 of them left. You take a look, 6-0, 5-1 in the last 6 games. That's the only way Cincinnati's going to make the playoffs.
On 3rd down, Kitna rolls out. Pressure comes from Quarles. He avoids the rush and now throws it away down the field. And they say he did step out of bounds, so it'll be a sack. Negative 10 yards on the play. Shelton Quarles gets the stack.
Kitna needs to realize where he is on the football field rather than taking the sack, and right there you could see him on top of the outside boundary lines, but he has to realize where he's at. Throw the ball away. You're outside the tackle box, dump the ball. It's 3rd down. Don't get an interception. Don't throw the ball in the field of play. 3rd down has been killing the Cincinnati Bengals.
And Harris hits a short punt, and Carl Williams doesn't even get close to it. And Ron Dugans downs the ball. A 28-yard punt. Tampa Bay gets it back. His team up 10-3 here, and he's had a lot to deal with, not only this week, but throughout the entire season.
He says that's the way football's heading in general. So it's a sign of the times. I mean, winning isn't the most important thing to players all the time.
Warrick Dunn pushed out of bounds by Takeo Spikes, and Tony Dungy this week has gone through a lot of things. The Bucs are unhappy. You got Simeon Rice complaining about things, and Keyshawn Johnson says the receivers aren't getting it done, and Warren Sapp is out there, wondering. Well, Warren Sapp will say anything. I mean, he's just constantly going at it, and a lot of these guys have radio and TV shows. They have a forum to get out there and complain and bicker about things. 2nd and 12, and Justin Smith goes off sides. Makes the tackle in the backfield. The flag is down, and I'm sure that it'll cost the Bengals 5 yards. And there it is, offsides against Cincinnati. And, even this week, Tony Dungy had to deal with the rumors that Bill Parcells supposedly is going to take his job next year.
Offsides. The middle guard defense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
And here's all the TV and radio shows that these guys have, and it's just amazing.
Hey, take a look, Warren Sapp and Keyshawn Johnson. These are the 2 guys that are like the spokesman for the team. Warren Sapp at the beginning of the year said, if we don't win, we don't get to the Super Bowl, we're going to be gone. And that's not necessarily true. That's his opinion, but that's not the truth. And that puts a lot of pressure on the other players. It puts a lot of pressure on Tony Dungy.
You have to give Tony Dungy credit for the way he deals with those things. Ball stopper deals with the biggest run of the day for Tampa Bay, giving the 1st down, a gain of 10. Here's how Tony Dungy felt when we talked to him yesterday about all of these things we've been talking about.
Well, having dominant personalities is good in a lot of ways, as long as everybody's focused on winning and making that the most important thing. And fortunately for us, we have that. We have guys that are very much into winning ball games. And, you can kind of deal with everything else as long as that focus is there. They've been pushing their teammates. They push themselves, and, that's usually positive.
Dunn off to the left side for 5 more. What's your thoughts on that?
As long as guys are focused on winning, but at times you only get focused on winning if your backs are up against the wall. Then you put everything aside and you go and you play football the way it needs to be played. But what happens is if you start winning games, then people say, hey, I got to do the show here. I got to make sure I talk to the press on this occasion. I've got to make sure that I'm out at the restaurants and I'm doing some appearances and stuff like that. And then when you start losing games again, then football becomes the priority again, and winning becomes the priority.
2nd and 5, Warrick Dunn the priority, and he, with a little cutback, gets very close to the 1st down. Brian Simmons makes the tackle. Let's go to Los Angeles, and here's JB.
Hey, Ray, Pittsburgh expanding its lead against Minnesota. Take a look at the end around here. Troy Edwards, Louisiana Tech, Terry's guy. First rushing touchdown ever. And also on the ensuing kickoff, he forced a fumble. The Steelers are driving again. Back to Ray Bentley. And Ray, the guy, John Lynch, helped me as a play-by-play guy when I was with another network, and he was with the Green Bay Packers.
Pittsburgh, what a tough place to play. Heinz Field, the home field never goes away. It used to be Three River Stadium, now it's Heinz Field, and Pittsburgh just played well.
And third and short, penetration in the Bengal line stops Allstott in the backfield.
Allstott has the ability to break tackles. And if you get him through the defensive line portion of the defense, you get him into the linebackers and the defensive backs, he can continue to keep pressing and pushing and getting through the defensive secondary.
Right.
Not a lot of push in the offensive line.
Simmons shot the gap right there.
And Christie's having trouble with Steele. Coleman's having trouble with Steele. They submarined him, stopped him on third down.
Here we go on 4th and 2. And it's broken up. Nice defensive play by Mark Roman. He knocks the ball away, and the Bengals stop Tampa Bay on a 4th and 2. Buccaneers with a 7-point lead, 1:19 to go in the third. Brad Johnson and Jaquez Green right there tried to hook up on that last 4th down, and their timing was just a little bit off, and Mark Roman made a huge play to turn the ball back over to the Bengals. Kitna has to throw this one away completely, and they expect a flag, but it's not going to come out. And Dungy wants one too for intentional grounding.
And Tony Dungy should get a flag for intentional grounding.
There's no intentional grounding. The quarterback was out of the pocket.
Boy, I'm doubting that. But that's Tom White's call, and he made that call. But you got to be outside to where the tight end would be.
It's tackle to tackle, and he's right even to where Willie Anderson was lined up.
He's got to be outside where the tight end would be. For an order, I mean, that's the tight end box, not the tackle box.
And he never made it outside the tackle. He didn't even make it to the tight end. He was still inside the tackle.
Right.
So that flag should have thrown, and they should have called it.
However, that's a judgment call. I don't believe it can be replayed. That's what Tony Dungy is trying to get, though, is a replay on it. But in a call like that, it's not replayable.
And what the officials do now is explain it to the coach that it can't be.
It's not charged the timeout.
Tony took a timeout to question that. You know, I want to replay that, Mr. White, but you can't do that. You can't replay a judgment penalty call.
And Cincinnati's protection breaking down. They've got enough people to block, but they've committed to being with the big people and letting the hot guy through. They need to make an adjustment.
And Corey Dillon is stopped. Let's go back to that 4th down play. I think the timing was a little bit askew between Brad Johnson and Jaquez Green.
And it was. Brad Johnson trying to throw on rhythm. When Jaquez makes his break, the ball needs to be delivered. And here the break is, and he's still winding up, trying to make the toss. The ball floats and flutters a little bit, and Roman gets his left hand in there to break up the pass.
3rd down and 8. Kitna goes to the shotgun, and the Bucs show blitz. And now they change out. Kitna dumps it underneath to Bennett, and Bennett gets the 1st down.
It's the first time I've seen Kitna sit back and fire a ball into one of his wide receivers, or into one of his receivers' hands. Usually he sits back and he dances a little bit, finds out and just trying to flutter something out, you know, out to the perimeter. But this time he sat back, he fired, he looked at his receiver, he found him, made the decision, stepped into the throw. Bennett with the catch and the 1st down.
And that is the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. Tampa Bay 10, Cincinnati 3. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after a word from your local Fox station. Ray Bentley along with John Yurkovich here in Cincinnati. And Yurko, the Bengals still in this one. And when they run the ball more than they pass, they usually win. And play selection has been running so far.
They made a cognizant effort to try to run the ball and to commit to that. And the fact of the matter is today they've run 19 times, they passed 19 times. When they do that, they win. And they're trying to come out of here with a victory today. They're getting the ball into Corey Dillon's hands. He's their playmaker.
And they go play action with this one, and Kitna hits Brad St. Louis, and St. Louis can't hang on to it. Oh, he tried to one-hand the thing.
We talked about Brad St. Louis being the snapper. He's not really a tight end. He's been forced into action because of the injury to Tony McGee. And here's Brad St. Louis play action into the middle. He blocks, gets away. He has to make this catch. 2 hands, Brad. 2 hands as a receiver. Put both of them up. You give yourself a chance to come down with the play. He tipped it up. He almost caused an interception there for John Kiffin.
Boy, and that play could have gained more yards than the Bengals gained in the whole third quarter. They only came up with 14. Brings up a 2nd down and 10. Kitna dumps this one, and he can't find Dugans. Had to throw a little sidearm as he was evading the pressure from Singleton.
Kitna under duress. They've run that play action into the middle, that rollout. They haven't fooled anybody yet today. And here it is, the fake toss. Singleton not fooled. Tries to step up and make a play, but the pressure coming from all sides. Ball hit Dugans in the hand. Dugans should be able to come down with that.
That'll bring up a 3rd down for the Bengals. They're just 4 of 10 on 3rd downs. And Kitna looks down the field, and it's intercepted by Abraham. And Abraham will be stopped just shy of midfield by the intended receiver Dugans, but Donnie Abraham comes up with the interception, his 4th of the season, to turn the tide. 10-3 Buccaneers. John Kitna struggling today. His rating on the day just 39.2. He's 10 of 20, and he has just thrown an interception that sets up the Buccaneers. Warrick Dunn takes it outside. He's run out of bounds by Spikes and Armour after a pickup of 3 on the play. But let's go back to this interception by Donnie Abraham.
You can see Donnie Abraham. They're playing a 2-deep coverage. John Lynch dropping off as the half safety. And here he doesn't see Chad Johnson really running a route, so he drops back, and he's playing the deep to the short. So he goes, plays the deep pattern, gets the interception. Kitna didn't have a good read. And here he realizes that he's in trouble. Kitna not too happy with himself. He's got to find a way to tackle Donnie Abraham.
You have to wonder, as Mike Allstott pounds the middle. Allstott breaks through all the way down to the 35-yard line where Spikes gets him down. But you have to wonder if Achilles Smith won't come into the ball game here, as Dick LeBeau, he yanked Kitna last week at halftime, put Scott Mitchell in, and now Achilles Smith this week moved up into that number 2 spot. And they talked about, hey, it might be time to get this guy ready.
If you pull Kitna and you put in Achilles Smith, you need to be ready to dedicate yourself to Achilles Smith for the rest of the year. He is now your quarterback. That means you give up on Kitna, you're not going to go back to him, and Achilles Smith would then be your guy.
1st and 10, and Allstott trapped in the backfield. Justin Smith, the first man to show up.
I don't believe Dick LeBeau is ready to give up on John Kitna yet. So I think he's going to continue to put him out there and hope he works out of his slump. But if it continues, the John Kitna project here in Cincinnati is going to be over, and they're going to have to make a commitment to Achilles Smith, and they're going to have to go on.
Mike Brown talked about it in the paper this week about, you know what, it might be time to find out what Achilles has, see what we have here for the future. And that's, of course, once they're eliminated from any playoff possibilities, which with a loss today might mean that as Johnson throws it, he is hit. Pressure coming. He had to get rid of the football.
Johnson dropping back. Takeo Spikes coming off the backside.
Tony Williams with the pressure.
Pressure coming in the middle from Tony Williams. He's expecting that play fake. Warrick Dunn went the wrong way on the play fake. Johnson fakes the nobody, drops back. And Warrick Dunn should have been the one blocking and maybe being secure there, picking up with Tony Williams in the backfield.
You see the pressure on Johnson, and they'll bring it again on this 3rd down and 10. And here comes that blitz. And Johnson gets it out, and it is complete as Kaesvaharn makes this hit immediately on Jaquez Green, and Green stays down.
Jaquez Green banged up. Johnson needing 10 yards for the first. Goes short. If he gives the receiver a chance to catch that on the ground, he might be able to run for a first down.
Well, Green had that stomach injury, and that didn't help.
When will you call me?
The field under his own power. That's good news. And the Buccaneers will have to attempt a field goal from 48 yards. Gramatica missed from 43 earlier today. He hit from 38. And he hits this one pretty good. And it is good. 48-yard field goal from Martin Gramatica, and that pads the Buccaneers lead to 13-3. And let's take a look at that third down try.
Jacquez Green just going to run the quick slant. Brad Johnson has to get the ball to him while he's still running, but Case Fajarn, just with the good hit, lands on the head, lands on his neck. I think just a little bit afraid of that neck injury. Then just a nice kick by Martin Gramatica right down the middle. He's struggled as of late. He's connected on 2 field goals here today.
Right, 2 out of 3. We'll hit the one from 38 and that one from 48. The Buccaneers now with a 10-point bulge with 12:29 left to go.
We talk about confidence and confidence that a field goal kicker has. And if you start missing a couple of kicks, all of a sudden that mind, the mental game, you start playing with it. You start thinking, should I adjust my stance? Should I do this? Should I do that? And when you're playing with confidence, you're kicking with confidence, everything seems so automatic. But when you lose it, boy, you strive. It's like a golfer losing his swing. You start eating away from the inside out, just trying to find a way to get it back. And it looks like Martin Gramatica, he's found a way to get it back.
Gramatica to kick off. Keaton deep for Cincinnati. And he line drives this one. And that's picked up by Houshmandzadeh. TJ Houshmandzadeh is stopped at the 30-yard line. Next week, it's another full day of NFL action, beginning with the undisputed champion of pregame shows, Fox NFL Sunday. Then Charlie Batch and the Lions take on Warren Sapp and these Buccaneers as they try to stay in the playoff hunt, plus Stephen Davis and the Red Hot Redskins. We'll visit Jake Plummer and the Cardinals in an NFC East battle, plus other regional action. Coverage begins at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific here on Fox. And John Kitna stays into the game, and a few boos welcomed him back. And Corey Dillon tries it off to the right side. And you hear the boos again, and this crowd wants to see some action on offense, and they haven't seen much offense from Cincinnati today. 118 total yards. And look at the time of possession in this half.
Tampa Bay controlling the ball, controlling it with their ground game. The Cincinnati defense starting to tire a little bit, but they're still hanging in there. John Kitna has to move this team. If he doesn't move this team, Coach LeBeau is going to lose his players and their faith in John Kitna.
Kitna nowhere to go. He fumbles the football. And the Bengals get it back.
Inexcusable for Tampa Bay not to come up with that football. Warren Sapp had it slip right through his fingers. He was trying to pick it up and score a touchdown. But Sapp lets it slip through the fingers. But the pressure comes off the backside.
It's Rice.
Simeon Rice making an over and under move on Richmond Webb. Richmond gets lost. And there, the ball knocked out of Sapp's hand by one of his own guys. He's disgruntled. He was looking to score.
Simeon Rice gets his second sack of the day. Rice now with 5 on the season. 3rd and 18. And this is just a bad throw intended for Peter Warrick, and Kitna gets to hear a resounding chorus of boos as he heads to the sideline.
I've seen enough. I've seen enough of John Kitna. I'd bring Achilles Smith in, see if his versatility could make it happen for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Well, he really had nowhere to go on this one.
And Darnay Scott just running a little in route. He was probably the 3rd or 4th option on that route. He didn't run it too aggressively. Chad Johnson lets himself get ridden out of bounds. You got to do something as a wide receiver to help your quarterback.
Harris punts it to Carl Williams, and Williams will have good field position. He takes it at the 39, gets it up to the 41. 39-yard punt, 2-yard return. Buccaneers in control. They lead by 10. December of '98, and Tampa Bay came away with a 35-0 win over the Bengals on that day, as Mike Allstott had 3 touchdowns. Don Davis blocked this punt, and Rondé Barber had an interception at the goal line, returned 56 yards.
Take a look at the offense of the Cincinnati Bengals. Here's the quarterback right here. and the team is on one bench and the other bench. They should be communicating with each other. John should be with his wide receivers, telling him what he expects. Then he should go back over with his running backs and his offensive line to say, give me a little bit of protection. But there's no communication.
And they're starting to exit here from the stadium. Some of the Bengal faithful taking the escalator out of here.
They've seen enough. 3 points after being shut out last week by Cleveland, 18-0. They've seen enough. They've seen enough of the offense. They're not happy with it. They might have to put Achilles Smith in just to rejuvenate some excitement.
All stop with the catch and the move. Gets it into Bengal territory to the 46-yard line. 11 yards on the pickup.
Tampa's going to look to just control the ball. Short passing game, running game, put it up inside, keep running the clock, getting points, keep this 10-point lead, add 3, add 7. They're just trying to maintain. Don't turn the ball over. Don't do nothing too risky. I don't think you're going to see that out of Brad Johnson. He's going to keep short passing game, quick completions, hold on to the ball with both arms.
Stay on the ground with Warrick, Dunn, and Dunn picks up a couple of yards over to the right side. And you look at the NFC Central Division standings, and Tampa Bay would go to 6-5 with a win here today, and they would stay alive in that NFC wild card hunt. They're tied with 3 other teams for the wild card battle, and that's really where they're focused right now. And I don't think that they've entirely ruled out a division championship, but trailing Chicago by 3, that's a difficult one. But you see Detroit up on Chicago in the 4th quarter, but that doesn't really mean anything with the Lions. I think Chicago's got them right where they want them.
If the playoffs started today, Tampa would not make the playoffs, so they've got to string some victories. Get up to the 10 victory mark, I believe, is what's going to get an NFC team in the wild card picture.
And Warrick Dunn rips off 12 yards. Darrell Williams on the tackle, and take another look at Warrick's run.
Really the action you're going to see in between the center, Christie, McDaniel, sealing the backside, all stop with the lead block on Takeo Spikes. And you get Warrick Dunn on the safety, and you're going to win every time when Warrick Dunn is going one-on-one on the safety. Doesn't get touched through the line of scrimmage.
Look at the disparity in total yards. Neither offense really lighting it up today, but the Bengals a meager 107 yards. Dunn takes it again to the left side. Now, in the NFC, Tampa Bay is tied at 5-5 with Washington, the New York Giants, and New Orleans. And those are the teams really that they're competing with. You've got an Atlanta team that's 6-4, also in the wild card race. That's right ahead of them. You see, here's the NFC East look, and the Giants and Washington right there in the mix, and Arizona's still alive at 4-6 if they can get on a run. So a lot of football yet to be played in the NFC.
A lot of teams looking to get on runs.
Warrick Dunn stopped in the backfield. We'll stop and head out to Los Angeles. Here's JB.
And Ray, what we'll show you is how the New Orleans Saints are trying to climb over 500. Take a look at Brooks hooking up with Albert Connell, 14 yards of pay dirt. That capped a 6-play, 53-yard drive. And it's 20-10, Saints over Carolina. Just the start of the 4th. Back to Ray and John.
Thank you, JB. We're at Paul Brown Stadium, Cincinnati, Ohio, where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a commanding 13-3 lead. 6:40 and counting to go, and they are on the move, but a big 3rd down, 3rd and 9. And Johnson goes for it all, and he way overshoots Frank Murphy. And it'll be interesting to see if this is Grammatica field goal range. Now, the last one that he hit from 48, he hit it pretty solid. He would have made it from this distance, and you're looking right now at what would be a 52-yard field goal, say, depending on where they spot it.
I would be more apt to pooch this ball and punt it and put Cincinnati in bad field position. But Tony Dungy has a lot of faith in his defense, and he believes if Martin Grammatica misses his kick, his defense will be able to come out and stop John Kitna in the Bengal offense.
Well, he's pretty good from 50-plus. Long in the season is 49 yards, and he overkicks this one, and yanks it to the left. And Gramatica still not out of the woods, and neither are the Buccaneers, but they do lead by 10 with 6:23 to go. From 51, shanked her hard to the left, and it's still 13-3 Tampa Bay. Bengals starting at their own 40-yard line. They go to the ground with a patient Corey Dillon, who picks up 6 yards off to the right side, and the Bengals offense is third worst in the NFL with 3-and-out drives. And you see this today, 4 of them, and 3 of those have come here in the second half.
Not what you need. John Kitten was supposed to be able to lead this team. The receivers aren't dropping the balls. They're not making mental mistakes. But John hasn't been able to find a way to get the ball to his wide receivers.
Real impressive day from Kitten. However, he hooks up on this one to Chad Johnson. Johnson's second catch of the day gets them into Tampa Bay territory, down to the 39, a gain of 17. Let's recap today's action for you. Rondé Barber blocks this punt. Yoder picks it up 11 yards into the end zone. That's the only touchdown that we've seen all day. Turnovers have really kept Cincinnati in it here in the second half.
Interception of Donnie Abraham makes the play.
And now Corey Dillon finds a little room, and this Bengal offense has woken up here with 5 minutes and change left. They're threatening.
They gained more yardage in 2 plays than they did the whole half. Corey Dillon, one of the great reasons why he's a phenomenal runner is his patience. He sees the hole. When he finds it, he hits it, and he bursts through it, breaks a tackle. Big yardage for a first down.
Kitna goes to the air again, trying to set up the screen, and nowhere to go with that one. And he takes a shot after the play from Steve White. Well, they tried to run the screen to Corey Dillon, and he was wrapped up, and now there's a flag on the play.
They'll probably end up calling illegal man downfield on the Cincinnati Bengals. 2 great plays, and all of a sudden you get a mistake to move you backwards.
Well, the great play was the Tampa Bay defender who grabbed a hold of Corey Dillon. Now John Kitna had nowhere to go with it, had to throw the thing down the field, and he had blockers down the field expecting a screen.
The timing on the screen is so important. You've got to suck those guys.
Suck the lineman downfield, number 73 on the offense. The penalty is declined. They'll take the result of the play.
Richmond Webb.
You have to suck the defensive lineman upfield. Richmond Webb, the left tackle. He's the one